Can you guys hear me now? Hello? Happy New Year. Can can you hear me now? That sucks. This is actually a far superior microphone. My computer clearly recognizes it, but somehow the connection is not there. Anyhow, I will learn it. So, so now, Alexandra, see, I was so smart when I saw Ale Loves Japan was here without telling me her name. I remember it was Alexandra, and I boasted about it, but you couldn't hear me. And Jack, so let's go through the greetings again. So Jack, hello, and thank you for your Happy New Year wish. And I said it must be evening in Europe, and still not New Year. Tomorrow night would be, I guess, but it's close enough. So that was my response to Jack's. Now I gotta repeat everything. Let's see. Mohammed, hello. Momanix says, Happy New Year. Let's hope it's great. Great one, and peace, yes. And everyone, please just tell me you guys do hear me now. It's all good, right? I just put the old blue ball, the speaker called Blue. And this one is also the same brand, but even higher up level. So I guess I got to figure out how to put it together. But let me just note that you all do. Just say yes or no if you hear me. All of you, if you will, please. And Sean says, okay, these are old ones. And thank you, Carpe Diem. He says, all the best in New Year 2019. Cheers and keep up the great work. Thank you. And then he says, there's no sound. Let me see if I've got yeses from you guys. Okay, so you guys do hear me now. Mo Manix, is the first time, Manix. Are you here? First time that you're here from Seattle, Washington. You know, I went to Seattle U for a few months back in, I remember the street was Cherry Tree or Cherry Street. That was close to the university, I believe. Seattle U. And it was only a few months. I was studying English there. That was 1973. A long time ago. So Sean says, I'll get to you, Sean, right away, just in a second. Okay, good. So it's loud and clear. Let me catch up with all the messages here. I don't want to. No sound, no sound. Carpe Diem is was beginning, now it's fixed, to read lips. So if you can read lips, what's the use of me talking anyhow? I mean, the microphones, I can disconnect them and then you can simply, right? All right, okay. Jack says, good way to start the new year. That's right. Yeah, Sean, I hooked up the old one. Okay, now, all right, I guess we're caught up and everything is all right. Thank you for the blessings, Alexandra. Ah, Kazi says, Mehran, just the right time. I'm depressed. I guess is New Year evening and I'm lonely as... Don't worry, don't worry. These are just things you will laugh at later on in life when you remember. You look back and say, what the hell was that I thought I'm lonely? Anyhow, we'll be together here for a bit, for an hour or so. Gary says 3 hours to go here. How could it be 3 hours to go? This is the 30th. Oh, it is the 31st. Oh, I lost a day. So it is going to be New Year. So it is New Year for a bunch of you guys pretty soon, if not now. All right then. We are with the time. Pablo says, hello Mehran. Hello Pablo. I have a bad habit of constantly comparing myself to others. Oh, it's not a bad habit. It's a bad habit, but it's a bad habit that everybody has. Because you've been conditioned to do that. You were not born with this. None of us have. But through one of the unconscious way of people, including teachers and parents and so on, trying to control us, we have been compared. So-and-so's son is so well-dressed or so well-behaved. So-and-so's daughter, see how wonderful, beautiful she has combed her hair and neatly she takes care of her responsibilities at this age or that age or whatever. Compared us to others. Teacher, look, so-and-so has got an A in math. Can't you guys do the same? I mean, if he can do it. And the same thing. Look at her clean writing notebook, the teacher says. She's done a magnificent job. What about you? Look at you. Can't you do it just as good? Always being compared. So that has been conditioned. We have been conditioned to think that we are not good enough. That we must be more than what we are. Otherwise, we are not good enough. To the point that we actually picked up this condition, that is a conditioning, as something that we would have to seek ourselves and command it. So internally we now think, oh, I'm not good enough. I gotta be more. Because unless I'm more than what I am, it doesn't count. I have to be more. So I gotta buy that thing to feel more. I gotta have that to feel more. I gotta do this, whatever it is that everybody else is doing, so I can also be considered equal or more. So never enough to be who I am, because not because I'm not enough, it's because I'm conditioned to think I'm not. One way to control us or to put us down to feel they are higher than us so we can be controlled by them, look up to them, listen to them. One way of controlling, it's all been that. So now what you do to yourself, you just got to recognize why you do it, and then don't give a damn. Just do your best. What is really important in life is not to be more. I'm this, I want to be that. Always, and when I'm that, I want to be the other. It's always about a certain kind of an anxiety that I have to catch up with something. And this is the conditionings of the society, the media, the politics, and the way to control the schooling, the competition, and all that has been plugged into our head to separate us from each other, whether purposely or unpurposely. This is the outcome. That I have to be better than that one. I would have beat that one in the competition, in the test results, in this and that. These are all ways and reasons that we are so segregated today. We don't cooperate for that fear of not being the top model of being compared or others be compared to us. As if it's a trophy, as if it's a recognition or accomplishments that, oh yeah, they said to that guy, be like him. That means I am it. What are you? There is never in a stage where we can say this is the ultimate stage of advancement. So what's the use of constantly thinking that I'm not enough? Just do your best. We will never be our best ever in our lives. We can only get closer to our maximum capabilities, but we will never reach our maximum capabilities. But the fact that we're doing our best should be good enough. Yet we're conditioned to think, no, it's a relentless effort and never-ending effort for us to try to prove ourselves in one way or another, or to the others, by simply not being able to enjoy life, by thinking negatively about ourselves, or buying into the bullshit that we've been fed all through our lives, and still through teachers, parents, girlfriends, or partners, whatever your relationship is, wives. These are ways of controlling. Put you down to make you comply. So don't buy into that. Just be a wonderful person, happy, honest, positive, affecting others in a positive way. Do your best. That's all. Focus. Be one with the nature. Understand and appreciate good energy. It's all about energy. The rest of it is just man-made bullshit. So, let's see if that helps. Kazi, Tuta. Juliana says Happy New Year, and thank you very much, Juliana. Oh, was it in Tuta or no? It was Pablo. Was it? No. Oh, yes, it was Pablo. Okay, sorry, Tuta. Pablo, I hope it was helpful to you. And he continues, it makes me feel entitled better to others and makes me less in value to other people. How can I stop this? 20 male US. I think we just discussed it. So I hope that is something for you to start pondering. And if you go on my channel and search in the search engine of my channel the video titles, why I compare, or comparing to the others, comparing with the others, the word compare, to be more, these key phrases, key words, more, compare, and you will get a bunch of videos. Especially if you go to the playlist, the Psyche, you may just want to go through them. There are hundreds of videos there. We now have about, what, 1,300 videos on the channel? There's bound to be some kind of a discussion on almost any topic regarding your psyche. Thoughts. What are thoughts? I have a series, a 4-part series about thoughts. What is thinking? It's very interesting. I think you might enjoy it. And then there is a video about consciousness, thoughts. What is thinking, and then what is thoughts, and then consciousness, and relationship between the two. What is desire? How does desire come about? How is it formed? What is fear? Where does fear come from? How is it formed? Ego, relationship between ego, fear, desire, pleasure. These are all discussed in many of the videos, and possibly all of them collectively in the playlist, the Psyche. So you may want to take a look, and if not, then you can simply go to my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, click on the books, look at the table of contents of the book, watch the short video for each book. 2-minute video tells you what the book is all about, and then look at the table of contents. A book called Me, My Psyche and I. Me, My Psyche and I. You will see the chapters that are covered, the topics. In that book, you will have understanding of desire, fear, thoughts, consciousness, ego, suffering, permanent and impermanent, meditation. Mind needs a home. What does that mean? How to stop time. What does that mean? all these wonderful things that it can help you to recognize who you really are, where the answers lie, and what are you all about, how you're put together, why you act and react the way you do in your daily lives and negotiating your journey. So pick up the ebook. It's cheaper. The real printed one is like what, I don't know, $80 or something. But the ebook, same book, is $5.99. So pick that up, and then you can take a look, and many of your questions might already be answered there. Now, and you can always know if you have other issues, guys. I'm one Skype call away. Go on my site, click on Talk to Me for consultation, and make an appointment, and we'll explore what's on your mind one-on-one on Skype together. All right, having plugged the books, we now go on. We now go on with Sean. Sean says, I don't know if this is rude or disrespectful, but I don't mean to be. But what are your pictures? I lost you. What are your pictures behind you? Oh, not rude, not at all. Why? I have a video actually named "What is that painting behind you?" So, because this question has been asked before. So if you're talking about the painting with the horse and the rider in military clothing, well, you can. It's an elaborate story, which I don't think many of you want to hear it again. So you can watch that. But basically, that picture, this one, can you see? There we go. That one is my equestrian instructor when I was trained by him, who is a world recognized, one of the graduates of military school of riding in Saumur, France. He was just recognized officially because he's passed, he's not with us anymore for many years. And just last October, through the efforts of many of the wonderful students of his, who came to be his students and have the fortune to be trained by him under his direction after my time, my era. We all worked together, and many of them worked so hard in France and introduced the contributions that he had made to the equestrian society of the world, and his efforts to bring the French style of show jumping and training and working with the horses to many thousands and thousands of students around the world, and their students, and the students teaching others. And he was recognized officially in Saumur, France last October. So the story of it is longer than that, but that's the gist of it. And I have highly respect him. I was very close to him. He was like he was definitely a role model to me, and he was a friend of my father, but I never called anybody like my father, because my father was very special and I learned a lot from him. But Colonel was also like my father. Like, he thought of me as his son and treated me as such. And you know, I knew his family, his wife, his daughter, his son. We were all training in the same club, and had the fortune to be instructed by Colonel Neshati. May he rest in peace. It is very important to have a wonderful role model in every child, in every young man or woman. And he was one of my role models. And that is why it is so important for us to be able to understand this journey of life, make a better version of ourselves, and be able to be a good role model to the others. As how important it is, the effect of the good role models that we have had in our lives to be where we are, how we are. they had something to do with it. So wouldn't that be wonderful if we could also reciprocate and be able to turn ourselves into something worthwhile, that we can actually, by action and thoughts, not just by idea, by action and thoughts, be a role model to other younger people in thoughts and action. All right. The rest of the questions are, the rest of the pictures are a picture of my son when he was much younger, like 6-year-old, and we traveled to Hawaii, and we've traveled a few times together. I'm very close to my son, and we shared lots of discussions since his childhood, and we grew up together like two friends. And so these pictures are some of the pictures that we took from our trips to Hawaii, to Maui, to Oahu, and places that we cherish. And so I have these pictures from one of our trips, and some of them are on the wall. So that's the story. There we go. Now, David. Hello, David. How are you? And Mo Manik says, yes, I love your videos. Cherry is by Seattle U. Ah, there you go. Says, please come back. Well, I had a great time in Seattle U. I was in the ELS school for a few months, but of course it was on campus, and we would have lunch with other regular students of the university. And I found good friends there. Mostly girls, I remember, but it was a beautiful experience. You know, we all were studying English, and then once I finished my course, I transferred to my real school, which was in Portland, Lewis and Clark, and so that's the story of the Cherry Street that I still remember. It was an uphill. I remember it was a very uphill street. Those trolleys with electrical trolleys with their what is it? Those cables connected to them. I think that's what I remember of them. I don't know if they're still running or not. David says, I saw an interesting video where the YouTuber told their audience to comment a certain phrase down below in the comment section. I thought that was clever for the YouTube SEO, and people did it. Ah, cool. So meaning what? Like everybody comments on my videos anyhow, but I haven't put a question for them to answer. I know that's a good technique to get people involved, and I guess that's what you mean. It helps with the algorithm and recognition. Maybe I should do that. But that's why I ask everybody who watches the videos, do please leave a comment. And you all know, during the past 6 years, that of 5 or 6 years that I started this channel, almost, if not definitely, all relevant comments, all have been carefully read and carefully responded to. And some of you have been, many of you, have been amazed at why I spent so much time responding to you guys. That the question that comes, I spent sometimes an hour and two on one question just to have a complete answer as much as possible to be helpful to that state of mind that that person who has reached out needs to read, to understand. That is how I thought helping would mean. But I would hope that this would be recognized to the point that it would attract more subscribers. And that doesn't mean that every time you write me something I would respond, because now we don't have that kind of a time available, especially because we do offer the live talks that you guys can come in, join, and ask your questions. And as you can see, I try to answer as much as possible in the duration that we have for that live streaming. So, but still, I will recognize your questions and try to make a comment as helpful as possible. And I don't necessarily focus on it to be short, but I may not be able to dedicate an hour per some lengthy questions, because on that cases I would prefer if you guys make an appointment on Skype, and then I would be more than happy to discuss it. I receive all kinds of emails every day, guys. Some of it is, believe me, it's like a few pages, and I read them, but soon I won't be able to do that. So for that, we are going to have a new site that is being revamped, and you can write your questions on the consulting page from the site, and it will be pay by question. So then at least it will be justified for the time that I should spend to promote and look at the economic health of the channel, to be able to bring better quality videos or more videos, or maybe put some seminars and so on. We need finances. So I now gotta be a little bit more aware of how to help the channel rather than just focusing on responding to questions, but hope to be able to also help the channel through its needs for financing, so we can reach out more people. Otherwise it'll be a very limited, when there's not enough money, it will be limited reach. So I hope that is understandable, that why we are going to have the paper email on the site. Otherwise we won't be able to advance. If we had, like, you know, a couple of million subscribers, then there would be enough finances to do lots of things. But since we don't have that many subscribers, we have to find ways to bring more finances into the channel, especially that we provide a lot more accessibility and help to people free of charge than any other channel that I know of. So on that note, so for big long discussions, do make an appointment, guys, and then of course it'll be more effective that we can one-on-one explore it together on Skype. Now Timmy says, Mehran, Happy New Year, brother. Okay, Happy New Year to you too as well, Timmy, and thank you very much for the well wishes for the new year. David says, maybe you could try that. Comment down below, you don't need them. Well, maybe you could try that comment down below, you don't need them. Which comment is that? I'm lost. Must be something that T-wink, in that T-wink. What did I do? What you guys picking on me now? David says, Happy New Year, by the way, male age. Yeah, everybody knows now that you are male, age 23, Dallas, Texas, because you've been very steady on that, observing that protocol, and thank you for that. Cassie says, I just hate New Year evenings. Oh, come on now. Come on now. It's not the label of the evening that you hate. It's the thought process that you have allowed yourself to be submerged in that makes you feel that way. So I suggest to you, understand that it has nothing to do. In fact, you got to use the energy of the New Year's Eve to move yourself forward. Don't think about, oh, she left, she's with somebody else. Who gives a shit? Let her go with somebody else. Look, whoever is not with you does not deserve to be with you. Simple. Whoever is not with you does not deserve to be with you. I think I gotta put that on shirt or something. By the way, guys, have you guys looked at the storefront that we have now on Teespring? The shirts with the logo and the saying. You can choose out of 8 or 9 sayings of mine which t-shirt you want and the different colors and long sleeve or short sleeve, all cotton, and get them. That helps the channel, and that also helps you to, you know, be decent. You know, wear something. So, and now Carpe Diem says, okay, talking to Cassie. Good job. Carpe Diem. Sean, open up your eyes. Focus on the tentacles that are connecting you to the world, not the one that is missing. Remember that explanation that we had, that the bridges have two big towers on each end over a river, and then the bridge that is built is connected to these poles, towers with cables, hundreds of cables to keep it up. And if one cable gives, or two or three or 10 or 20, the bridge won't fall, because there are other cables that is holding it up, connecting it to where it's stable. Now, same thing with us. If you consider yourself being right here, you have many different cables, like these fingers, connecting you to the world. Friends, family, your job, your education, your schooling, your projects, what you love, the relationship. Now, the relationship is broken up. One cable. And if you're really not with it, you're going to allow the depression that this one cable should not bring you, but you allow it to bring you, cause your education to suffer or your job to suffer, which is very bad. That's why you should be very clear that it's only one cable broken up. You're still clearly stable and connected to the rest of the universe, to the life itself, with the rest of tentacles, cables that you have. Like the bridge, you're still holding up. Doesn't matter if one has given away, has gone away, is broken. And when it's broken, it's an opportunity to bring a better cable, stronger cable, another relationship, which will come, whether you want it or not. It doesn't matter if you see it or not. It will come. It's the way of the river. It's not up to you. Just like this one, you didn't know it's going to come. It did. You thought, oh, I'll never have a girlfriend. I don't see it. But it did happen. Now that it didn't happen, for one reason or another, who cares? There's going to be another one. That's the way the life is. So, in the meantime, though, you're connected with all other cables. There's nothing wrong. Don't think that that one cable is worth a lot more, or more than any other cable possibly could be connecting you to the life. That's bullshit. It's just one cable. And obviously it wasn't strong enough. That's why it caught. And if it wasn't strong enough, why should you want it? Let it go. So, the one who's not with you does not deserve to be with you. Go on. Believe in the universe. Believe in life. Believe on the flow of life. And everything is energy. That energy flows. As long as the energy flows, it is going to be carrying what it contains, opportunities and possibilities, to whatever else that this energy is going to connect and touch on its way from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe. And one of those things that's going to be touched is you, with what it has, carrying the opportunities, the things, the events that you have no idea of them, but they are on their way. Remember, if you stand in front of the ocean and you look at the vast expanse of the ocean and you see there is no ships, does that mean there is no ships? It just means there are no ships in the field of your vision that you can see. That's all. Because you can only see a limited distance. In that field of vision, you can't see any ship. But that doesn't mean that it's representing the entirety of the ocean and what is in the ocean. It just means you can't see it yet. But somewhere in the ocean, there are hundreds and thousands of ships that are on their way to somewhere. And many of you, they're on their way towards you, but you just can't see it yet because they're too far away. But they are on their way. So what you cannot see doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means not close enough for you to see. But it's on its way. And you will begin to see it once it's closer. So in time, when the things are right, and use that time to prepare yourself for that arrival, your studies, your job, establish your life, and keep everything together take care of yourself, eat good, exercise good, be in positive situations and state of mind, accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. So when that gift, when that opportunity, when that ship arrives, you are prepared with docking facilities for it to take birth and supervise its climatizing itself with your island. In other words, get busy with life. Take care of yourself. What's supposed to be coming is coming. So whether you see it or not, that's not indication of whether it exists or not. It is, because that's the way of life, and that's the way of the ocean. There's always something in it traveling. So keep cool. It may seem that you're alone, but it's on its way. So let's go to Timmy. Timmy says, 35 US male. Thank you, Timmy. Says, Mehran, after 7 months, I know why she walked out and never gave me a chance. Why do you think she's supposed to give you a chance? Like, what is she? Almighty? That you ask a chance? She should want to be with you. She should wish to be with you, and it should be mutual. Not that she didn't give me a chance. Chance for what? What is she? What has she done for the humanity that puts her up so high up? Give me a chance. What for? The only thing that you think of her so highly is not because you got to know she's such a wonderful humanitarian and a cure to common cold, or does so much wonder for the needy and the hungry and the old and young and so on and so forth. No, it's just because she's a female. And you're a heterosexual male, you're programmed to pursue and want and desire female, and she happens to be female. She hasn't done anything for that. She was born like that. So suddenly don't give her all the credentials that she's the best. Why? See what she does, how she acts, behaves, reacts, interacts, and affects the society and you in positive ways. Is she a good role model for the world? What does she bring with her other than her physical presence, which is you're programmed to like. What's not to like about a woman? But that doesn't mean that she's better than you just because you desire her. You got to still qualify her. Okay, she's a female. Okay, that's fine. That's the criteria. But does she qualify to be associating with you? The fact that she's female and you're programmed to like a female, you're a heterosexual male, and you are programmed to want a female, desire a female, pursue a female, that doesn't mean that's all you should be expecting from a partner. You should see if she qualifies. And one deal breaker that makes her no longer qualified is when she doesn't want you. Why would you want someone or think someone is qualified when that someone doesn't want you? I don't understand. So you will go deeper. You say, well, I shouldn't want her because she doesn't want me. That means we are not matched. So why do I want her? Because that's your program. It's not a credit to her to make you think that she's all that because you want her. Wanting a female, a man wanting a female, that's not a credit to the female. That's the way we are programmed. That's the way it is for a heterosexual male. So focus on what is it that she brings with her in this relationship. Are you guys compatible on consciousness level? Do you understand each other? Can you find things in common? Do you bring harmony for each other's life? Are you supportive? Are you helpful? Are you communicative? Can you build something together? Are you mature enough to know why you're in that relationship? And is the reason for you guys being in a relationship similar or the same? Or are you there for different motivations? The motivations for you being in a relationship are different. It's not going to work. If she's there for your money and you're there just for sex, it's not going to work. If she's there because you seem to be having a good future and you're there because you think she's got a good job, it's not going to work. It needs to be a total package. You guys like each other's physically and like each other mentally, hit it off all right, be compatible, find about each other's backgrounds, each other's way of looking at life, what your maturity level is, what your education is, what compatibilities you can offer to each other, what support and understanding and communication styles you can offer each other and bring to the table. All of that takes time. You can't just be walking around seeing some beautiful girl in high heels and say, oh, I love her. That's not love, that's lust, and that's great, perfect. But you need to go beyond that and expect more, because the girls expect a lot more from the guys than just the guy's look or the guy's money. There are other things that in both sides should be looked into and considered before you say, oh, I love her. Have you really asked yourself, what is love? When you ask yourself and look at one of the videos that I've made on what is love, and then you will understand, have you gotten to the stage to decide that if you guys really love each other or not? Or are you just simply using the word love because you're excited about being near that female and you think that's love? That's not love, you know that. That's lust, which is an invitation, an opportunity to get to know each other, to see if you can love each other. It's a two different understanding of the word love. So look at that video, just type in what is love or love, and then see what comes in, and then go from there. Now, he continues, never gave me a chance. I know why she walked out and never gave me a chance. She said that she holds too much resentment against me and doesn't want a romantic relationship because she might get triggered at some point in the new relationship, and that we would return back to where we were like before. Well, that means then you guys gotta talk about the sources of trigger and discuss the sources and get that out, and hopefully you will leave the ego and fear out of the room when you come into the room to discuss those sources of triggers. And I wonder if there is a continuation for that question, Timmy? No? All right. And Carpe Diem says power in support of each other and this great community of people. Oh, yes. Good. Kazi Tuta. Dawn says, good evening, Mehran. Good evening, Dawn. Lovely to see you, she says. You're live tonight. Oh, where are you, Dawn? Are you in North America or you're in UK? As you say tonight, that might be Europe then, yeah? She says, it's nice to hear a friend chatting as I'm sat here alone again. On New Year's Eve, Christmas, and, Christmas, New Year, and Christmas and New Year is torture. I'm glad it's nearly over. Oh, don't think it's torture. It's just another night that it's made a big hoopla that we're supposed to be what? Every night. If we are, let's say, by ourselves, well, it's every night like that. Suddenly now that we feel there's a wave of other people who are doing something else and I'm conditioned to have to be in party, otherwise the year will not change, as if, or I'm supposed to be drinking and get drunk, so that means I'm one with everybody. It's all bullshit. The night could be as wonderful as a cup of tea and a nice movie or some munchies or whatever it is, or some book you want to read, whatever. You take a walk, go to the gym, same thing. Happiness is in here. It's not in the party. It's not in being part of this, part of that. It's all about how you think of happiness should mean to you. It could mean just a cup of coffee. I mean, cup of tea for me. You can have tea, coffee if you want, okay. Or some goodies. Or something that you just, you cozy up and with a blanket and watch a movie. It's living, it's all in thoughts of you thinking that you should follow others or you should follow yourself. How you should be feeling is how you would be thinking. If you think that you're not happy, then you will feel unhappy. If you think that I can be happy regardless if I'm out there in a party or in a disco or a ha 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 la 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 and drunk and throw up and all that or whatever, if you think you can be independent of all that and still be happy, then you will be. It's how you think. Well, we are brainwashed to think that, oh, to be happy means I gotta be an asshole one or a few nights a week in order to feel like I'm with it. You don't have to. You can be whatever you want. You can be with friends, you can go to bowling, you can go to a disco, you can go to... But see what brings you that tranquility, that feeling of realness, not escape. If you think through pleasure you can get happiness, then that's the time you think, oh, I gotta go to disco, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta be in a relationship, because pleasures bring happiness in your mind. But pleasure never brings happiness. Pleasure is pleasure. You cannot bring happiness through pleasure. You're conditioned to think that you can, but so that's a misleading direction. So, what was it that blinked here? I think it's my cell phone. Siri, I guess, sometimes thinks that I called it. So it gives me a little boom, distracts the hell out of me. So now, now train of thoughts. So you should focus on the fact that happiness is not by way of pleasure. That I have to go to disco, I have to go here, I have to go there, I have to do this, I have to have this. These are excuses. You cannot escape and then find your destination. Pleasure is escape. Through pleasure, which is escape, you cannot find happiness, which is your destination. Happiness should be independent of pleasure. So happiness would be a natural, default state of your being. That's when you got it. But if it's dependent on money, on this, on that, on fun, on pleasure, then you're always seeking pleasure. You're not seeking happiness because you think happiness dependent on pleasure. Pleasure is the source. I gotta have this and that and do this and that. Therefore, you'll always be seeking pleasure. And pleasure in reality will never, ever be something that you can build something. There's no substance to it. It's a momentary feeling that you get from doing something that you like. It's pleasurable. That's it. It's not a long-lasting anything or a foundation to build anything on it or a place where you can find anything in it other than just forgetting everything that you need to be concerned about, possibly. That's it. It's a place where you relinquish duty, responsibilities, and escape. That's it. Through escape, you cannot find destination. Through pleasure, that is escape, you cannot find the happiness, which is destination. So therefore, make that destination, the happiness, independent of pleasure. Therefore, the happiness would be with you based on basics of life, smallest things that you always have and cannot be denied of, like breathing. Nobody can deny me as long as I'm alive. There's breathing, unless, so it's kind of bad chemical stuff out there. So that's basics. I have it. There's something to drink. Maybe a chamomile tea would be nice. If not, water is fine. Something to drink, something to eat. Maybe some nuts or some blueberries or some food. Clean. Some place to sleep. These are the basics of life. Somewhere safe to sleep, something to eat, something to drink, air to breathe. If you have this health of your loved ones, reasonable health of yourself. Pretty much it. The rest of it is cosmetics. Cosmetics. I gotta have this girlfriend so I can have this image of myself. I gotta have this money, that car. Unless, see, all these unlesses, conditionals, makes your happiness conditional, which makes it further to arrive to it, to achieve it. Because the more stuff you want as a prerequisite for happiness, the more stuff you gotta get before you can actually focus on happiness. So you gotta focus on this, and then this, because I'm not happy yet. There's more happiness I can have, so more things I can get to be more happy. So the more stuff you want to focus and depend your happiness on, the further the distance between you and happiness becomes. But you make happiness unconditional, independent of anything else, but based on all these basics that we talked about, breathing, drinking, eating, and sleeping somewhere safe, suddenly it becomes attainable. And once that is attainable and arrive to it, what can you stop you from getting all those things that you thought happiness is dependent on? It's not. You get the happiness first, then go after all the things that you feel it's cool to have. More money, nicer house, pleasure of traveling, and all these things. Go get them. But get the happiness first. Don't think that you got to wait until you get all those things and then you can maybe be qualified to be happy. No. Happiness is free. That's why even the rich man may not be happy, but a poor man is still happy even though he's not rich financially. Happiness is free, and everybody can have it if they focus on what's the ingredients and the formula. Now, let's go to, let's see the rest of the question. Sean says, the first video I ever watched you in, I think you were sitting at a desk. You are in a black suit. Yeah, a gray suit, yes. And you were talking about pebbles. A very good video. Helped me out. I've been watching ever since. Oh, thank you very much, Sean. Yes, that's a video that deserves a few million more viewers, but we're still not found so easily on YouTube. We were found by accident. I don't know, something I'm doing wrong. But anyhow, it will eventually probably catches up. But yeah, that's a good, clear message, a video that I actually didn't prepare for it or anything. I just sat there and started talking. It usually happens that way. Most of my stuff are like that. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel, Sean. Sean says, absolutely amazing. Well, I'm delighted that you liked it. Carpe Diem says, what is your suggestion, Mehran, in finding new friends you can trust? There is no friend that is written up here. You can trust me. Trust is established between two people in time by seeing each other, how they deal with the challenges of life, how they negotiate their daily lives, how they act and react in light of happenings and challenges, and how supportive they are towards each other when needs be. All that takes time. You can't certainly trust someone because, you know, they look nice, pretty, or handsome, or because of what they're wearing, or what kind of smile they have on their face. These are all pretty much something that everybody can do. Everybody can dress nice if they have the money. Everybody can be all dude up. She can look like $1 million because it's all about money, how to look beautiful. In most cases, for women and men, They can have nice cars or, you know, nice suits, and girls can all be, you know, wearing jewelries and look all dolled up and beautiful. But that's all physical attributes. Like anything else can be decorated. But what's in what all these decorations are hanging on? What's inside that what these decorations are hanging on? Inside of the mind of that entity that has made an effort to look presentable. Looks presentable, but what about inside? What's emanating from inside? We can see what's emanating from outside. The smile, the clothing, the beauty, all that. But that's just a vessel. It's like seeing a beautiful ship on the ocean. Well, okay. Well, what's in it? What kind of engine does it have? What kind of refuse does it have because of that energy that that engine produces? What kind of refuse comes out of it? What kind of toxins are those refuses? The process that it takes for that ship to go function. What does it produce? What about the cargo that it's taken? What's inside the ship? From the outside far distance, I can see beautiful lights and the ship looks luxurious. But what does that mean? What is inside? The food plate looks beautiful, beautifully decorated, designed by chef's master. But what's in the ingredients? Is it safe ingredients? Is it fresh? Or is it toxins? Or is it laced with bacteria because it's not taken good care of? It's been sitting outside the fridge before it was cooked. It's going to make me sick. You can't tell. But time will. You take a bite, you wait a few hours, you'll know if the quality was good or not. Same thing with the ship. You take a look, you go inside, take a visit, take a tour. You'll see what's inside. So the outside can always be decorated. But what's inside needs also to be looked at to see if it's also in tip-top shape. The food, the same. And you wait long enough in a relationship, you can see the beauty of the girl that you're meeting. We're talking about one kind of a relationship. You guys switch it around to make sense for the kind of relationship that you have. So you see this beautiful girl, all dressed up nicely, smile face, very classy, all jewelry and all, you know, beautiful. Just can't be any prettier. But that's not all she is. Just part of her. The physical entity and the mental part. Mind and the body. The energy exchanging with the universe through the mind, apparatus of the part that we call mind, and the vessel that is holding this energy and being the vessel for the energy to be depleted and recharged and depleted and recharged, and then develops into certain kind of quality. That is what puts the whole person together, the mind and the body. So you got to be able to experience what both these two entities bring to your relationship, bring to you in interaction with you. It is not just what you see and how you feel about the femininity of the girl that makes her to be the right woman for you. It's also about how she has endowed herself with knowledge, education, manners, mentality, morality, the consciousness, what she has gathered in the experiences she has had, the maturity, and how you guys actually each will be able to be compatible or communicate on consciousness level. And then in time, you will see if you can, in fact, trust each other. Even then, because we all go through changes as everything else does on a daily basis. All the atoms and molecules of everything goes through changes all the time. Every day you lose 7% of your cells. It's like you lose a hand every day and then regenerate again. So in about a couple of months, you've been regenerated in entirety pretty much, because 7% of the cells die every day. There was some kind of a study on that, which I learned, I read, And so on that note, we're changing all the time. So if that is the fact, then our actions and reactions and mentality and growth and consciousness, content of the consciousness is also subject to modifications, which through the time that we've already learned that we can trust each other, we could also be going through the changes, and those changes suddenly come out and say, oh, the person that I used to trust, suddenly I don't anymore. Not because what she used to be, she wasn't. No, she was what she used to be, but because of the changes that happens in everything in the universe, she is now, or he is now changed. Therefore, we may no longer be as compatible as we were, which means the trust level changes. So, it's a work in process. Always compatibility and bonding on conscious level will need to be checked and helped and coordinated, and then the trust will grow and grow. It's a different bond. It's a high expectations of human relationships when you expect such a absolute state. As the state of human being is not absolute, the consciousness is not absolute, nothing is absolute. We're living in a relative world, everything changes. Therefore, the word trust that you bring in can be attained, but cannot be count on it to be absolute and constant when everything else around it is changing. It's just unreasonable to think. Now, let's go on with with the question. And so Carpe Diem says, what is your suggestion, Mehran, in finding new friends you can trust, which we discussed that. And he says, I still have a couple from junior high. Oh, you still have a couple of friends from junior high, but it is hard to find people who are not glued to their phones. Yes. I saw this post just the other day on Facebook. He says, I went to Starbucks and I saw a guy sitting there with no headphones, no cell phone, no laptop, no nothing, just sitting there having coffee like a psychopath. I think that describes most of the people, most of us today. We happen to have somehow being convinced into have to have a cell phone all the time with us. We have to be connected. And it was only a few years back we didn't have these. I remember when I first had the first cell phone, it was car phone. It was called car phone. First of all, I remember I was in a chess square where in the close by mall we had a big outside chess sets that people would stand around and play. And it's an idea from Europe. In fact, my father suggested that idea, which he was used to see in Switzerland and enjoy it here in this town, and eventually the malls thought that that's the idea they should follow. And so we had a nice big chess area. And while I was playing there, I noticed some guy sitting somewhere, close by to the chess area, and talking to a phone with a big box, like heavy box. You have to carry it, and I'm like, this is huge. And then sit there and then dial and phone, and everybody would say, oh, what is that? What's a cell phone? I said, oh, okay. And then later on, it became some glumpy thing in your hand. That was the next generation of it. And the first time I had a car phone, it was, mounted onto the body of the car inside between the two seats in front, And so I could, you know, dial it and talk it. And then they had the speaker too, could have a speaker too later on. All these evolutions. And then the, you know, cell phones being clumpy and big and no screens, just numbers. And that's it. Then the messages could come in. And then eventually text came in. Like, could, you know, leave messages and recording and all that. Then text features came in. And now we have this whole handheld computer. Now we still call it phone. It's actually a computer. But we are kind of conditioned to have that because all our records and auxiliary consciousness of ours is there. It's like a it's like a memory stick. It's a auxiliary hard disk that you buy, extension to your hard drive. So that's like our extension to our hard drive. A hard drive being here, the consciousness, and this is the extension of it, which all our information are here and what we do. And because of that, we don't record most of the things here. We just write it there rather than fully recording it. So I understand what you're saying, but you know, even those friends that you have in the high school, they've also changed. If you go with the same expectations, it's not. And if your need to be friend with them is different than their need to be friend with you, again, it's not going to work. You need to be friend with yourself first, carpe diem. Learn to be friend with yourself. Become independent of I need a friend to feel good about myself. It is very good to have good friends, but what do you think that friend is? That friend is also another human being, limited in everything in experiences and knowledges, and therefore in experience and knowledge, and therefore you can't think that that friend would actually be working on the same level and resonance that you are hoping to be on to help yourself to understand and deal with the challenges of life. That friend has his own or her own challenges. So ultimately, there would be a letdown if you thought that friend, having that friend in your life, will be making a big change in your life and in the way that you can handle life. You should learn to be friend with yourself. You should learn to be connected to life and be able to negotiate life on yourself, with yourself, whether you are in a group or with some friend or not. That independence, feeling of that I am in peace with myself. I can understand the universe. The energy that goes through meditation, I can connect to. That is my point of connection. Why you want friend? Because you want to be connected to something. Everybody wants a pillar to be connected to something because everybody's afraid to fall. Now, falling could be a happening of life, something that you can't deal with, maybe a mishap in the family, or maybe a challenge in the family, maybe a devastation in the family. Somebody's old enough or gonna leave us. These fears are all kinds of the needs, insecurities, fear of money, fear of losing my job, fear of having food or not, fear of being lonely or not, fear of a wife leaving me or not, a girlfriend leaving me. All these fears causes you always want to hang on to something, a support. And that support itself, it needs to be hanging on to something. And that something that this support is hanging on to, that needs to hang on to, is also in the same boat. So really, it's like a domino effect. You can't really count on it because it works the other way around too. If the one that is actually you supported on and he supported on somebody else and she supported on somebody else, if that one falls, then they lose the support and affects them, and then affects the other one and affects eventually you. So you need to find a stable support from your fears and your uncertainties that will not necessarily be a human being or made up by a human mind, such as a deity and so on, because then that's kind of in a way illusory, trying to be politically correct. So being able to understand that you are the universe, you are connected, to what is real, and you don't need other fragments of the universe to be your pillars, but in turn you want the whole universe, you as part of it, to recognize that you are one, you are part of the whole, therefore you are one with the whole, therefore you are the whole. As it's flowing continuously, you are part of this flow, which is you're part of the mix, which you're part of the whole. You're never alone, and you are connected to reality of existence, to actuality of the universe. Not a man-made thought of it, this friend or that thing or that deity, and yet always through that belief become a slave or a controlled little toy, a puppet, that you have to comply to certain things that other human beings who thought of that deity before you has told you that this is the rule, and suddenly you have lost that connection. It is now again conditional connection to that, what it is called the deity that you are seeking help from. So why don't you be friend with yourself and what you're made out of, the energy, the universe. Recognize to be focusing on what life is all about, how you're connected to it, realizing that you're never alone. You don't need necessarily this friend or that friend to feel whole, because you are part of the whole, and all these friends are part of that. You're all connected, whether you know them or not. And through that connection with nature, you will feel a little bit more comfortable that nobody can take that away from you. And I don't necessarily have to find a new friend with a phone number that I say, okay, I'm connected with some new human beings. And then what are those human beings? They're also looking for some connection to feel secure themselves. That is why I also say don't believe or buy into the opinion of the others, because the others are looking for opinion of the others to feel good about themselves. Focus on meditating and understanding your relationship, your connection with the energy, with the key of the universe, that you are part of the whole, that those fears are all man-made. I am fear. I am fear. Fear doesn't exist. I am the fear. I make the fear. I create the fear. So I am the fear. All those uncertainties, I am the uncertainty. Turn that away. Focus on the tentacles, the connections you have to the universe. Focus on the fact that you can do your best, that you can change things. You don't have to wait for the change to be handed out to you as a charity. Including when you think, oh, she gave me a chance. She didn't give me a chance. She left me. So all my hopes and connections to the whole amazing experience of life is dependent on this desire, this fear of not having, this desire of wanting to have this girl paying attention to me or this girl leaving me. These are all ways why these fears and instabilities appear. Instead, focus on the fact that you're one with this nature, like that tree that is so solid. That tree is not thinking, okay, oh, I need to have all these things happening around me before I don't feel alone. No, that tree says, okay, I'm one with nature. I'm in the roots. My roots are in the ground, on the earth, and I am part of this earth. I'm part of the air. I'm connected to them. I breathe the air. I give to the land, and I use food from the land, and the land uses my contribution to it. We're all connected. I'm one huge big thing. Nobody can easily destroy me. But what destroys us is our own thoughts. That we think we are weak. We are unable to function unless we have this and that, or in this relationship where I have that many friends. And we forgot the fact that we already part of the whole and include the whole, and everything else is part of us. And we are all one and the same in the whole big picture of the universe. I talked a lot, but I think it could be worth it to somebody. All right. Let's see what else we have here. Ayush says, hi Mehran. Hello Ayush. Timmy says, I like that t-shirt. Whoever is not with me isn't my spaghetti. That's right. Whoever is not with me doesn't deserve to be with me. That's right. Lottie Martin says, female, 40 UK. Hello, Lottie. I think the YouTube algorithms are quite mysterious, because some channels that are not so good have many more, and others many less than should have. Yeah, I know. You're absolutely right, Lottie. That's my dilemma as well. Mo says, whomever is not with you does not deserve to be with you. So true. That's right. That's right. That's right. Turtle says, oh no, Turles. Oh, but you told me how to pronounce it. Turles or Turles? Turles. I don't forget. I forget. Says, hello again, Mr. Mehran. Happy New Year Eve, New Year's Eve. Happy New Year to you too. And thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I am a 30-year-old male from New York. Okay. Have you thought about making a dating website so we heartbrokens can find true love among the community? Do you know how many dating sites are out there? And I mean, there's no control who's going to be there. So it doesn't mean that anybody who's there is going to be just enthusiastic about this channel or follows a certain kind of a thought pattern. So, you know, Forrest Gump, box of chocolate, you never know what you get. So that's pretty much going to be like that, I guess. But I did have a channel, a site called breakupclub.ca, which I have since then dismantled it. What happened here? What was that bump now? I dismantled it because we had a bunch of people that had signed up. It was all free for people to support each other about their relationship breakup, and the questions that we would talk about, and they would support each other and talk to each other. And I needed to constantly pay a maintenance fee every month, and it didn't seem economically viable at the time. But the new site will have a Discord. I have to figure out how to, my program is supposed to figure out how to have that chatting or exchange of comments between people who join in there, so they can support each other, talk to each other on the site. So we're working on that. And hopefully when it's done, then you can go in there and chat with each other, find out about each other's challenges and, you know, stuff about relationships, and perhaps, I don't know, maybe you guys, you know, become friends and have a connection that way. Lottie says, oh, by the way, you guys, you know, don't forget to click like on the live talk if you like it. I noticed there are 24 of us, so thank you very much for last time, guys. We had a full like by everybody. When I uploaded it, I saw 33 likes, and that was the number of people that actually at one time I could see participating in the questions. What I don't understand is that when I see like 22, 24, or 30 people here, when I upload it, it looks suddenly it's like 75 people or 170 people. I don't know if they've been watching and not participating, but they're still counted as viewers, or how does it work? I still don't know. Now, let's go back to the questions here. And Lottie says, I think there must be some ways to reach more people that as yet I cannot work out. Yeah, I know. I don't know how. But I think these live talks help. We are actually making a difference. People come in here, and the ones who cannot afford to have a Skype talk appointment with me, which I have that Skype consultation around the week with people around the world, but there are people who can't afford it, or their country doesn't allow them to be able to use credit card or something to make an appointment on my site for that purpose. So they can come here to these live talks, and they can ask their questions, and if time permits, I answer them. But I will try to shorten it to 1 or 2 hours maximum, because otherwise, you know, last time, remember one of these times, last week was it? We our live stream. Before I noticed, it was over 5 hours and few minutes, and that's quite a bit of a long live stream. I mean, live talk, live stream. And so we'll see. Maybe we'll have enough people to warrant some kind of a system of just answering few questions and limited number of questions, and the rest could just maybe listen. So don't forget to click on like, if you will, and Tuta says your idea is actually very good. Which idea? Turles says, Moses Turles, excellent idea. Oh, what's idea? Let me find out. That I missed something. Oh, the website thingy, dating thing. Oh yeah, okay, I see. No, it's not a good idea. Not for me. It's lots of costs and for no economic value for the channel. But I will have the Discord so people can support each other. That makes sense to me, to support each other. But dating sites, there's so many dating apps. I don't need me to make one. Kazi, okay, Sandy. Oh, hello, Sandy. Hello, Sandy. How are you, dear? And Happy New Year to you as well. You know, Sandy, my apologies to you because I haven't properly, thank you for your kind gesture that you sent that package to my office, because the truth is I haven't seen it yet. I've called and it's been holiday times and the office is open maybe half a day or something, and by the time I get my act together and do my stuff and answer my you know, emails and all that, it's already too late to go to the office. It's about half an hour from here, so I haven't even gone to the office to pick it up. But anyhow, just accept my appreciations for now until I actually then properly thank you for your kindness, and when I have had an opportunity to open it. Timmy says, Mehran, immediately after the breakup, I went into overdrive and worked hard, began to study, went to the gym, went back to church, dumped alcohol, and restarted life. I'm entering 2019 like a boss. There we go. That's my boy. Good for you. Mo says, I love your empowerment mindset. My pleasure. Delighted that you enjoy it. Oops. Jumped. You touch this thing, it jumps like a thoroughbred horse. Like a Akhaltake horse, a Turkmen breed. I love that horse, Akhaltake. Wonderful horse, talented, fast, good jumper, all around horse. What happened? That many questions? I won't be able to get through all of them. No way. That'll be 2020 before. I gotta find a system prioritizing them. How do you guys suggest I do that? Because there's so many questions, I'll never be able to answer all of them in one seating of 1 hour or maximum 2 hours. So what do you guys suggest? How do we prioritize them? We can't prioritize them based on who comes first, because you know, people join in from different parts of the world, different time, and not necessarily all see it at the same time. So what do you guys think? What do you suggest? How do we prioritize answering the questions, guys? Help me out here. Saliu Barry says, hello, sir. I'm 23 from Minnesota. Thank you very much, by the way, for almost everybody today is observing the protocol to let me know how old they are, where they're tuning in from, and if they're a man or a woman. I appreciate it wholeheartedly. It helps me a lot. And if you're talking about your partner as well, let me know what his or her age is and where does he or she come from, so that will also give me the same kind of information that I could consider in my responses to you. So, Salut says, hello sir, I am 23 from Minnesota. How not to let other people's opinion affect you? Just don't. Because who died and left them in charge to have the opinion about you to be correct or more valuable than your opinion? What about them? Whose opinion are they considering to know about themselves? If that's the case, you know, everybody's looking for somebody else's opinion to find value and affirmation in themselves. And then who's that last person who's actually based all the opinions on that? So it just doesn't make sense that you should think other people's opinion, whom themselves are looking for somebody else's opinion to feel good about themselves, should actually mean that it's the measuring stick to give you your value and affirmations that you may be looking for. And he continues, especially if you already have your mindset on something that you want to achieve. Well, you can have the mindset that you want to achieve, but it is not bad to consider researching on people who have been in that sort of a project or business, have gone through that path, and maybe they have some input that you can use, but not necessarily means just because they don't agree with you, you should go their way, or also doesn't mean just because you think of something, it should be definitely correct. It could be, you could be wrong. So research, Google it, find scientific backgrounds, find research results, and find people of you know, reputable background in that industry or in that idea, and see if what they're saying makes sense or not. Have an open mind, and having an open mind is still see that what they say doesn't jive or make sense or suit you well, then don't give a shit. But have an open mind to understand that not everything that you think is right, and not everything that others utter is against you just because you don't like it or it's against what you've been thinking. It could be right. Consider it, and then after consideration, then make a decision. Once you made the decision based on facts and research and, you know, expertise of others, or expertise that you researched and found out about whatever it is that you're headed for, then you make your decision, and then steady as she goes. Darius Silver says, hi Mehran. Hello Darius, or is it Darius? Male 22, New York. He says, I constantly find myself comparing myself to my ex and feeling bad that I haven't accomplished as much, traveled as much, cannot speak her language as fluently as she can speak English. Well, because English is accepted worldwide as the international language. But her language, I don't know where she comes from, I don't have that information here, may not be as widely used or necessary to further your aspirations or your goals and studies. So that's not a fair comparison. It's not a matter of competing, but a matter of functionality and reasonability. She needed to learn English. You don't need to learn that language. It would be good if you speak other languages. That's for sure. That goes without saying. But comparing yourself in that way is just not fair. Not of value, really. Not a measuring stick for you. And she has traveled. Well, people do travel because they have the opportunity to travel. You didn't have the opportunity, or you didn't want to go out of your, you know, domain or whatever it is. And you should focus on how best you can try and be the best version of yourself, and try to learn more. And as life continues, you have new experiences. But you can't compare yourself with other people's lives, because there are opportunities Their path, what came in front of them, what made things possible for them, is different than yours. And there are things that you know that she doesn't know. Well, what does that? Don't compare anybody with anybody. Don't compare yourself. Just compare yourself with yourself. Be the best you can be, and be the better version of yourself than you were years ago. So that's pretty much should be your focus. Don says, UK, I've changed my photo load. Oh, have you? There's nothing visible here on the photo. It's very dark. I think there's a bunch of writings, and maybe, I don't know, it looks like a picture of a building or something. It's very dark, can't see anything. Darius says, Mehran, is it wrong or unhealthy to be attracted or have, is it attach or attract, a strong performance, a strong preference from a specific country? Oh, is it wrong or unhealthy to be attracted to or have a strong preference from a specific country? Yeah, you've probably been impressed by a certain kind of a status of a country, or whether it's technology or tradition, or maybe the girl that you fell in love with, so good looking that you think everybody, or was so well behaved that you think everybody in that country shares the same mentality or outlook of life or presentation, physical appearance. It's irrelevant, really. That's how we shape our biases, because I assure you, I can find and I can be interested in a quality of a friend, or let's say in this case a woman, quality of a woman, the physical beauty and mental clarity and compatibility, whether she's from, I don't know, China or Japan or Korea or France or Germany or England or Sweden or Austria or Belgium or wherever it may be. Or is it Afghanistan or Pakistan, or is it India, or is it Iran, or is it wherever it is? It all depends on your understanding that every beauty physically and mentally exists in every nation that you can think of. So being biased and thinking that that kind of a quality belongs to only one nation, you're kind of robbing yourself out of opportunities. Because really the relationship that you begin to have is not with the physical appearance of a person. The physical appearance is an invitation to get to know each other, and it's attraction. But you build a relationship with the mentality of that woman, with the consciousness of that woman. That beauty and sexual attraction and intimacy all becomes not as focal point as it was once at the outset of your meeting. But what can grow and become better and better is the compatibility on the consciousness level. That can grow and advance and become stronger and stronger. Where if it's only based on physical attraction, well, look at it. First of all, you all know that the novelty of that attraction, sexual attraction, diminishes if it's only based on that. And look at the way we human beings are put together. We get older. And when we get older, naturally we are not as fresh looking or as, we looked when we were much younger. So that also could affect, if the relationship is only based on physical appearances, that's going to diminish, that's going to contribute to diminishing that excitement of sexual interest. So what's left is that understanding that you really build relationship on consciousness level. That is the one that you should really be focused on. And that has no limitation and is not limited to a certain geographical area in the world. The mind, the consciousness, how it's put together, how it functions, how it could be compatible with you, has nothing to do with the geographical area that it is coming from. The aesthetics that you seems to be focusing on. It can come from Japan, it can come from China, it can come from Belgium, it can come from Germany, it can come from Iran, it can come from anywhere. Beautiful people, good-minded people, good-hearted people, people with good consciousness, or the consciousness that it's compatible to yours. You can bond with it, come from all over the world. It's one earth, one people. So the geographical area is just like the kind of flowers and trees that you find different species of plants you can find in different corners of the globe due to its calamities and due to its characteristics of the geographical and weather conditions in area. That's how we've been pretty much affected in how to be developed, So that's for our vessel. But the consciousness is not limited to any of that. So you have a very good chance to bond with people from all over the world, regardless of which country you think you have a strong preference. Why a strong preference for what? Your preference should be with the quality of the consciousness of a person and behavior and manners and the way they act and react and treat you. And you understand each other, support each other. That's all. The rest of it is just propaganda and conditioning. But if you think, that you'll have better chance in that culture or that kind of a general mentality, well, go ahead. But don't limit yourself to that. And he says, I've studied Spanish and Colombian culture for years. My ex was Colombian. Is it bad to have this preference? No, it's not bad. It's just not... it's just limiting your options and your opportunities, because you go into you go into a possible relationship with a Colombian girl, and you right out so you have this conditioning that it will be great because my ex was great, I loved her, therefore she will be perfect. So you'll become blindsided, and you will not be able to see the ingredients of the cake, and you will all focus on this idea of yours which has decorated the cake perfectly, and before you know it, time has passed and you're deep into the cake and the ingredients, you see, oh, it's full of shit, but it's too late. Now you got to find a way to get yourself out of it. And the same thing works. You may meet another Colombian girl that is just perfectly as you thought it will be. But the downside of it also is that when you meet another girl from a different country, you go into the meeting with the idea, oh, that she's not Colombian, therefore she's not for me, I don't like it. Already you go with the predisposition of thinking that she's not good enough. A kind of a hidden prejudice that you created for yourself. While she could have been the actual real consciousness that would have just blown you away by the level of compatibility that you two would have felt and found in each other. So it is just not fair to yourself. That's basically what it is. Don't limit yourself. So what do you guys say if you guys take a 2-minute break? I will refill my tea and turn this Siri on my cell phone off so it won't keep blinking. Is that a deal? Yeah? Just say yes. Just say yes. Let me see that you guys are okay with it. You can go get your tea or something, because there's so many questions. I will just need some tea. Holy macaroni, this is going to be a long one. So you guys, give me a yes or no right away. Well, you have no choice. That's the way it is. I'm going to go, and you guys wait for a couple of minutes. I'll be right back. let's see. All right. And we are back. Kind of disappointed that my new microphone is not working. So let's see where we were. During the break we lost 3 people. Okay then. I wish this was a two-way voice activated thing that we could hear each other. All right. All right. Now we are at J. Lee. Can you guys hear me okay now? Give me a little bit of feedback. Let me put this over here. Maybe I take this off, put it here. Oops, entangled webs we weave. There we go. Okay. All right. So, Jay says, "Hi, Mehran. You know me, lol." Yes, I do. Male 37 Toronto. How are you, Jay? Happy New Year soon. Oh, well, it's a while, I guess. Let's see, what time is it? Okay. Jay says, I feel like I've become way too picky. That's all right. I met some girls, and every time, even though I try to connect on a consciousness level, and sometimes I do connect with them and can have a long conversation. Yeah, but don't become a philosopher when you go on a date. Don't go there that, okay, now I want to connect on consciousness level. Now let's see what's in her mind. Don't do that. The connection on the conscious level, you should be aware of it and hope for it and witness it. Observe when it's actually coming to fruition. It's developing. It's not like one-shot test. Okay, what is your idea about the development of the stratosphere at the whatever the hell it is that you want? Don't turn it into a test, you know. Just live. Just go on a date and have fun. Don't go there on an interview. Don't go there to select the date as a girlfriend. Just go there to be a gentleman and have fun and discuss some shallow things, deep things, whatever comes along, and make it comfortable for yourself and comfortable for her, and observe. Through observation, you will see the consciousnesses are actually having a chance to bond or not. But if you put a certain kind of a atmosphere to it, then everybody becomes apprehensive or tries to fit into a certain kind of a framework that you're proposing. And that's way away from the truth of both of you, either one of you. Neither one of you should do this to each other. Just go there on a date, have fun, and see, you know, the kind of gentleman it can be, what you can offer, and what kind of lady she can be, what she can offer, what kind of atmosphere the two of you can make together. These are all what you're observing to see the consciousness at the outset, the entrance, the shoreline. Then eventually you get to go into the ocean and swim and then see the depth of the whole thing. But if you just go in with kind of a philosophical persona, then you better have that long white beard and, you know, get up that you can, you know, imagine what the old philosophers of the old time would have. You know, it's just, you're going to defeat the purpose. Just be free. Let her be free. And be comfortable for yourself. And then observe. Let her observe you. Don't be afraid. It doesn't have to be a success meeting. It's just a date. Two human beings. None of you are Aristotle, and none of you should be or expect to be. Just be yourselves. Enjoy it. Now let's see what's the rest. So he says, but there is always something about them, or like a vibe, or sometimes looks that I cannot seem to be attracted to. I'm worried because at this stage, if I'm too picky, I'll never find some. Oh, you will. Don't worry. The pickiness will go away when you actually hit the jackpot in your mind. And the idea is, also remember, when you like a music that you've listened to often or for a while, and you like the tune, or you like the tune, and it's in your head, it's playing, you know, la 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 la. As long as this tune is playing, you can't really appreciate and understand or relax with a new music that is playing. So keep going, la 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 la, and then it says la 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 la. You just can't appreciate that because your la 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 in your head is overcoming anything else that is trying to get in and impress you, even though if it's a beautiful symphony or a music that is second to none. But you won't be able because you can't hear it. Why? Because you have this la 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 constantly playing in your head. Same thing. If you go on a date and constantly thinking about, oh, the old one, the one, oh, why did that not work? Why did she not? Oh, she was good. I could have made it. Well, I was okay. Maybe I should have done. You can't even see her. You can't even interact with her. You can't even bond with her. No matter how good she may have been, you will never see it. And you will think, she doesn't catch me good. It doesn't feel right. Why? Because you're full of sounds. So put it, silencer, go in. Put a damper on, put a towel, wrap a towel around your head. You get the gist of it, you get the drift, yeah? And Jaylee continues, I try to really be present, and usually am when I meet them. But I always come back after thinking, no, not my type. Okay, that's fine. Well, gee, every time you meet someone that is not your type, you're one step closer to find the one that it is your type. It's a numbers game sometimes. That's okay. It doesn't have to. Oh, just because I'm going. See, you go into the date with too much expectations and you get disappointed. And you will say, oh no, that wasn't my time and I didn't enjoy it. It was wasted time and I get worried now. Or maybe don't do that. Don't go in with any expectations. You're going out with just another human being, a woman. How more beautiful can that be? You like women and you have a chance to go on a date with a woman and you enjoy that date. Make her feel good. That will make you feel good as well. And then make yourself feel good to begin with, and that will help you to make her feel good. So just go on a date. Don't go on a date hoping for something more. Have no agenda. Just go on a date. And he says, how do I change this way of thinking? It's really a bad feeling. I know I shouldn't be so picky. Well, I just explained that. That means we've discussed and answered that question for now. All right. Hakim Sarseri says, hi Mehran. Hello Hakim. Male 26, Canada. Ooh, close to home. Yes, I remember Hakim. You are from Canada. Where? You're in what, Hamilton somewhere? Am I right? Canada is a big country, from one end of it to the other is 5 hours with aircraft. So just saying Canada doesn't tell me much, does it? I fall into missing my ex. You didn't fall into, you went into it. You don't fall into it, because as soon as you see you're falling a ditch in front of you, what do? You jump over it, you go around it, or you hold yourself, right? That's how you can control it. The same way you should use it when you're about to fall into your, missing your ex. So quickly remember the files that tells you about why it wasn't working, what the problems were, and quickly it will stop you from falling into missing your ex. Because if you only think about it, when you miss the ex is when you actually think about all the fun and the good stuff about your ex. The lovey-dovey, the touches, the intimacy, the things you guys did together, the memories, all the good stuff. Because that's the nature of human beings. You only think about the good stuff. But quickly right there, that's when you're about to fall. You're right in front of the ditch. Right there, bring up the files that is telling you what things went wrong, what things were not compatible, what happens, and why you guys broke up, what the issues were. And suddenly, you balance it. Yes, about to fall, and bring the files. Oh, okay, I understand. No, I don't want to fall. Then you go around it, you jump over it, and you handle it. But if you just let yourself, it's like you just fell from the boat or some kind of a rock into the ocean. I say, I fell into this. Yes, yes, you did. But if you just don't clap or don't do anything, don't move your hands and don't start swimming, you will sink. Because I fell into it. So you fell into it. Do something about it. But people say, I fall into missing my ex. Okay, yeah, you will. And you go deeper and deeper the more you think about it. It's like falling from a cliff or the boat into the water. If you just lay there, oh, I'm falling, help me, then you're going to sink. But you start swimming or moving your legs and so on, at least going to be happening, people are going to notice you. And they're going to start pulling you up. Or you yourself will eventually get to grab onto something, another rock, another boat, the tail of it, or swim to the close by land. So you got to do something, not just when the thoughts starts coming about how it was good. When you miss it, or when you're, I don't know, sexually aroused, or you're lonely, or you feel you don't have much to do, you're bored, you start thinking about the ex, because that's the most convenient thing, because it's available in your memory. All the goodies are there. Imagination, you can enjoy it. And then you get into it deeper and deeper, and because you have nothing else to alternative thinking, then you just let yourself sink in. Don't. It's your choice. Get out of it. Think of another girl. I don't know. Even it could be some kind of a movie or theater or movie star or something that you idolize for yourself in the world of beautiful women that you see in magazines or newspaper. Distract yourself from that falling. Give yourself a reason that there's better things out there. Plus bring out the fact that all those reasons that why things didn't work will help you not just to fall and just lay there, don't do anything. Do something. Swim away. J. Kudal says, Mehran, my ex broke up with me after I paid for her college application. She didn't want to stay because she didn't want to support me with the stress from school and work. I know she's anxious. I let her go and didn't chase. She will learn. Will she learn and feel guilty? Will karma get to her? What do you care? You didn't do it to gain anything from her. You did it because you thought it's the right thing to do. You wanted to help your girlfriend. The fact that she abused it or she didn't appreciate it, that is not your shortcoming. That is her shortcoming. That is a reflection on her, not a reflection on you. So whether she thinks guilty or recognizes it or not, well, she'll be an idiot if she doesn't. Because how could anyone not to think about the food that was prepared and put in front of him or her is the result of the effort of someone. Something has been sacrificed, somebody has taken the time to prepare that food, and that food is now in front of this person. So when you eat it, it's impossible not to appreciate it. If you don't appreciate it, well, you're an idiot. And that explains who you are. It doesn't matter if that person who made that food would know if you're an idiot appreciating it or not. It's a reflection on you. You have to live with it. The same thing with her. You did this favor, you paid for her schooling, for her college, tuition. And if she's just a simple, abusive, selfish idiot, that's a reflection on her. If she doesn't recognize or appreciate in her heart what you did for her and how she responded or in what tone. She didn't have, that's not a price for her to stay with you, but she could have at least handled it differently by say, you know, I really appreciate it. It was really kind of you and I will pay you back. I mean, that would be the right thing to do. If you don't want to be in a relationship with, why do you expect that the guy or the girl to pay for you, that they have already committed them? It's like buying a car for your girlfriend, or the girlfriend buys a car for you, and then you say, okay, you know, I'm gone, and she still have to pay the monthly payments to the bank. What does that mean? So at least she would say, listen, now that you bought this car for me, I appreciate it, but I'm going to pay you back because I don't want us to be in a relationship anymore. I don't feel it, but I don't want to take advantage from you. So I'll pay you back. I don't know, you know, when, but how, but I promise you I'll pay you back. At least that would be a nice, proper way of handling it. Same thing here. She could have said, well, listen, you know, I'll pay you back the tuition when I have it, but just want to tell you I really appreciate it. Da, 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 da. But the fact that suddenly you say, okay, well, thanks very much, but then, you know, I can't support you. I can't, you know, the stress of it. So I got to break up with you. And nice meeting you. And I had a good deal here. So it doesn't mean that because you paid for her, she has to stay with you in a relationship, but she could have handled it differently when she wanted to sever the relationship for her own reasons. So that, what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't matter if she recognizes or not. If she doesn't, she's an idiot. If she doesn't say anything about it, she's an idiot. The way she has handled, if she hasn't even appreciated it in the way that, you know, make arrangement to pay it back, well, that's a reflection on her. You shouldn't even care about it, because when you did it, you didn't expect this money to come back to you, did you? You did it for the goodness of your heart, the thing that you thought it's the right thing to do, and still believe in that, because that's you. Now, whether she's going to recognize it, realize it, and regret it, who gives a shit? Who is she that your whole persona and your happiness and contentment and fulfillment is dependent on some idiot who didn't appreciate what you did for her, to appreciate or to feel guilty about it? What do you care? What you should care is that what you did, and you did good. That's all. The rest of it, you're not responsible for that. She has to live with it. And the karma, what do you need the karma to, you know what, mess her up? What for? Be the one you are. Be above it all. Say, you know, I did what I did. I don't care what karma does or not. I didn't expect anything. I wish her well, but I don't fucking want to be with her. Why? Because that kind of person has no place in my life. That's all. The karma already did take care of it. And that is you not being in her life. She missed that. That's the karma. But you're waiting to see what already has taken place. Relax. You were the karma for her. She lost that. So if that's really on your mind, it's already done. Relax. Well, you shouldn't expect karma to do anything about her anyhow, but it's already done, and that was you. You're not, she doesn't have you anymore. That's the karma. All right. Why is this so cold? Just boiled it. It's not cold, but it's kind of, maybe because I talk and I forget that it's sitting here. Nauman says we all need first to love ourselves. Okay. Muhammad says, hi Mehran. Hello Muhammad. Hope you are doing okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind words and great wisdom. My pleasure, Muhammad. My pleasure. Did you tell me where you're tuning in from, Muhammad? Guys, remember, with all questions, remind me. Like right at the beginning, it says like, you know, M26, I don't know, New Jersey. 3 codes, small writing. Or F for female, Germany, 30. That's it. That helps me to kind of know what's going on. Muhammad, I forgot. You're in UK, are you? Or in New York? Where are you? And how old? Nauman says, okay, Nauman is not having a question. Mr. Consistency says male 27, South Africa. Ooh, that's far away. I just want to say Happy New Year and thank you for making our lives better. You seriously deserve a lot more than a YouTube channel. I know you saved my life and more than me. Wow. That's beautiful. These sort of comments makes my day. I love you too. And Happy New Year to you as well. I'm delighted that you enjoyed the channel and you found them helpful. And these discussions have made a big difference in your life. Thank you for sharing that. Jay says, to be honest, I think it's because I'm still not over my life. Ah, really? We already discussed that. Before you get here, that's exactly what we talked about, the la 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 music. Couldn't stop that la la thingy. In your head. That means you're still not over that girl because you're going in there and you're not seeing them for who they are. You're just seeing the comparison of whatever you felt and established with the ex, and what you really established with the ex was really nothing to write home about or to think it's the right selection for you, but the fact that it didn't work out, you are wounded. And that wound makes you think that she was something special because she decided she doesn't want to be with you. That's your mistake. The one that decides that doesn't want to be with you doesn't deserve to be with you. That's exactly why it is not the right choice. And you should never compare her with someone else. Why would you compare someone who didn't want to be with you, who therefore is disqualified, with someone that actually is sitting there in front of you and possibly wants to be with you? And you're comparing this possibility to the not possibility. The one who wants to be with you possibly with the one who didn't want, which should be not qualified. So the one that is not qualified, you're comparing it and setting as a role model for the one who is qualified or possibly is qualified. And he goes on, says, still keep comparing without wanting to, maybe even subconsciously. I know she just shut me out and therefore is not qualified. There you go. But I still cannot, telling myself she had so many characteristics, physical and mentally, that I felt connected with and really liked. Well, you know, physical characteristics are very good and important, but also they're not deeply connecting. They're just a connection, but not a deep, strong one. They're physical, they're on the surface. Surface contact, surface connections. They can also break up easily, break down easily, because they're subject to elements, the things that happen, everything, even looking at each other wrong one day, not enough smile or too much smile. It can affect whatever it is that you guys have connected on the surface. There was no deep connection. That was the problem. You should remember that. You should bring your memory to that. You see, the thing is, You're allowing your ego to make your decisions. Right now, you're ego-driven for her. She's not qualified, you know it. But she rejected you and blocked you on all that shit, and then it kind of hurts your ego, and your ego wants retribution. Your ego wants restitution. Your ego is pushing you to want her because you want to please your ego that, oh, no, don't be sad, don't be affected. I'll get her for you. I'll get the thing that doesn't want to be with me because I'm not important. And you, the ego is important, are important. You, so I'll get her for you even though I know it's not the right girl for me. But it's the right girl for you because you simply don't give a shit about me, do you? You give a shit about yourself. You, ego, you want me to do things for you, not for me, because you are not me. You are supposed to be subordinate to me, but you are not ordering me. You are controlling me. You want me to follow you. That's why you make me miserable and think that I have to go get her in order to feel whole. Instead of thinking, she's not qualified, I don't want her. Doesn't matter who started it, who broke it up. It's just apparent to me that it's not the right choice. But you, ego, want me to follow you. To say the hell with me and what I think is good for me, right for me, or not right for me, but to go and satisfy you. So you're following your ego. You're allowing your ego to lead the way instead of being the boss of your center. Part of your center is your ego. But the ego is not you. Ego is not your center. Your center is having many fragments. One fragment is ego, but you're letting a fragment to control the whole of you. Understand that. Say the hell with the ego. I don't give a shit. She's not the last anomaly or last woman on earth here. Why am I making such a big deal out of her? The hell with her. She wanted to go. I go somewhere else. That's what your attitude should be with the ones that doesn't work out. If you only want to focus on the things that were working out between you and X, then you will only think that the X was all good because you're only focusing on the selective parts of that relationship, where you should know that it didn't break up because of the parts that were working. It broke up with the parts that didn't because of the parts that didn't work out. It wasn't working. So focus on those points in order to see the whole entirety of the picture and say, okay, I have enough information. I know why it didn't work. I know there were good things in it, but I also know these things were really bad in it and wasn't working. And for that reason, you move on. Jay says, I keep telling myself she's not worth it because she shut me out. She's not qualified. Forget about worth it or not worth it. Worth it for what? You're not qualified. Don't you want someone who loves you, respects you, likes you, want to be with you, rather than you go, please be with me. Oh, let me, what can I do for you? Oh, the hell with all that nonsense. If it's not two-way street, it's not worth running. Never run after something that doesn't want to stop and let you in. It's dangerous. It's inconvenient. It's lack of respect. It's not practical. It's a waste of energy. Why should you? Do you enjoy when you run after a bus? It's not gracious, is it? Running after the bus. No, stand at the bus station, let the bus come to you, and you see if it's the right number, you have the right change, goes the right direction, the driver is not drunk, it's not full, you can still get in and sit, then you go. Why is it just because it's a bus? Oh, a good bus. What, you're going to hang on to it? What? What for? Where's the dignity of it? Have respect for yourself. Come on, Jay. Have respect for yourself. Who's that woman? What? What has she accomplished in this life? Only because you have to satisfy your ego, because she had some good points. So big deal. Go find some other ones. Come on, you know there's so many wonderful women out there. Don't bring all the women in the world to a level of a woman who actually didn't deserve you, or couldn't be compatible with you, or couldn't offer qualities that you guys could find some enough compatibility and common grounds to build something on it. There's so many wonderful women out there. This is disrespect to other women. When you get so hung up on one woman, it's really disrespect to all that wonderful, amazing, beautiful, great women out there. As if this one was the completion and the perfection of a woman. No, she wasn't. Because what's the perfect woman? Is the one who loves you, and you love her, and you hit it off well, and you stay together, build something. Was she that one? No. If she wasn't the best. So if she's not the best, why are you comparing the others to her? Like if she was better than all of them. No, she wasn't. Therefore, she goes, and then you focus on what's out there. If she didn't hit enough with you, she's not with you, she doesn't stay with you, then that means she's not qualified. Therefore, she's not the best woman. Because the best woman is the one that stays with you, wants you. So why do you compare the one who wasn't best? Obviously, because it didn't stay with you, didn't want to be with you, didn't want to make something with you, was no good for you. Why do you compare that to all the possibilities of the best women that are out there? That's not logical. Have some respect for women. Honestly. The woman that leaves you is not the woman that you should really think is any better at all near the women that are out there and want to be with you, possibly. You don't know it, but they're out there. So the one that doesn't want to be with you is disqualified. Let them go. And you guys can turn this conversation to any kind of relationship that you have. You know, whether you're a man or a woman, you turn it to the kind of relationship that you have and grasp the concept. Because I only talk about what kind of relationship, or the kind of relationship that the caller or the person who's asking the question is involved in. But you know, in order to make it compatible for your situation, you just make little twitches and change the rhythm of it, character of it. Carpe Diem says, thank you. That was a great explanation, Mehran. Much appreciated. You're quite welcome. Jay says, it's driving me crazy because I feel like I can't go her back to her or there to another person. You can. You decided not to. You can. If you say I can't, then you can't. If you say I can, then you can. Look, we've done this exercise before. I want everybody put your hand on your shoulder, right here. On your knee or on your shoulder. Just put it here. And think that your hand from here is stuck with strong glue to your chest, to your upper left shoulder or chest, or wherever you're touching. And keep thinking that this is stuck with the strong glue to my muscle here. It's strong, it's stuck. I can't move it, I can't move it. It's stuck, it's strong, it's just one piece. It's stuck, I can't move it, I can't move it. While you keep thinking that way, try to move it. I can't move it, I can't move it, I can't move it. You can't move it because you say you can't move it. Body follows the mind. Your mind says I can't move it, therefore you can't move it. Now you say I can move it. So you make things impossible for you from your control center, your mind, which initiates all activities, and then you expect to get a different result at the point that you want to see the activity done. So you say, I can't do it, but you want to be able to do it. Instead, why don't you say, listen, I can live without her. It's not a big deal. I can find somebody else, because I love women. There are beautiful women out there. There are wonderful women out there. There's so many of them. I know they're there. It's not a, it's not a drought. It's not like, the species is finished. It's there. So I can, and I will. and I'm open to it. And then you can. But as long as you keep getting this in front of your head as is some kind of a I don't know, anomaly of some kind, the princess of all, go on with the reality of what's out there. Don't disrespect women. There's so many wonderful women out there. You can't say one is representing, no other one is better than her. Better than who? The one that didn't want to be with you. How could she be better if she didn't want to be with you? Because my ego is calling the shots. Well, don't. Number one, you call the shots. Second, say you can. Acknowledge the opportunities and possibilities. Tremendous number of beautiful, wonderful women out there. Be open to it. And just get to know them. That's all. Don't have an agenda. Go on a date. Don't compare. Just bond. Don't try to bond. Just experience each other and then see where it goes. Then talk to me after you found somebody that is really nice. Then you'll see this one, actually you wasted your time comparing anybody with her instead of just disqualifying her right off the bat just because. Remember that saying that we use sometimes? If this wheel doesn't turn for me, I don't care if it turns at all. It doesn't matter how wonderful or beautiful is decorated, that wheel, whether it's a merry-go-round or it's a, I don't know, those in the fun fairs you see these, I forgot the name of it, that thing that goes all around. Anyhow, or a wheel of anything. In this case, really means the wheel of life. If this particular opportunity doesn't work for me, I don't give a damn if it works at all. If this particular wheel, if the wheel doesn't turn for me, I don't care if it turns at all. So if she's, I don't care how beautiful, wonderful, whatever the hell it is that you think she is, if it's not for you, if it's the benefit of it doesn't come to you, if her attention is not to you, I don't care how wonderful she is. The one is the wonderful is the woman that actually ticks for you. And you tick for her. You care for her, she cares for you. Not the one that doesn't want to be with you. You have to understand that. It's a very simple, logical equation. So, have respect for women. Accept, understand, and appreciate them all. Experience and be a gentleman when you go out with them. Don't have any expectations. Just connect with another human being who's a female. How more wonderful than that can it be? And then see where it goes. If it goes anywhere, it goes. If it's not qualified, then disqualify him. Next. And that goes for all of you, man or woman. Well, remember what I just said. Can't will make you can't. So when you say, I know I have to forget, but I haven't been trying, but why I can't forget is because you keep thinking about it and you think that it deserves for you to remember her. You got to understand that she doesn't deserve to remember her because she's not good for you. On that note, let's move on. Jay. Yeah, you should feel pathetic because that's not you. You should have a little more respect for yourself and grow a pair. Yeah, this is what they do. Jay says, I told her I wasn't ready even though I really liked her. I did, and that is how it ended. After a few texts there and there, here and there, she just left and never responded again. I wanted another chance. No, what chance? Look, if someone flies away when something goes wrong and doesn't want to, stick to it, that means she would have never had the alloy to actually withstand challenges that would be forthcoming in life anyway. If she couldn't mend and help reconcile this challenge at the outset of your relationship, guess what's going to be her capabilities or abilities or intention to make efforts when it's a year or two into the relationship and then something goes wrong? And she will be behaving even worse than this, which is supposed to be the lovey-dovey time. She can't do it now. That means she would have never been able to be a good partner when the tsunamis or the storms of life would have come towards you guys. That should be at forefront of your mind. If you guys have a problem with each other and you try to resolve it and one side doesn't want, that means it's not capable of. That means it's not a reliable person for future long-term relationships, because there will always be divisions and conflicts at some point in time in a relationship. And if she shows that she doesn't have the capability of resolving, solving, compromising, figuring things out, she won't have it then either. Then you're locked out, and you got to count your stars and say, "My God, I found that out now." Because there will be difficulties in life, so many of them. So when you're committed or got married and things happens, and every time things happen, she's not going to be able to make it because she just showed it, then that is a good blessing, good riddance for you to know now. So on that note, again, add that to your collection of reasons for you to understand it and move on. All right, now let me go back to the ones that we missed here. Says, I'm going to sample this for a song later today. What? 2 cement shoes? Well, you make that song. Let us hear it. You make that song. And J. Kudal says you don't. Okay, you're talking to each other. Okay, fine. You're talking to J. Okay, fine. 2 cement shoes says, okay, you're talking to J. Okay, fine. They're talking to each other. All right, good, good, good. Okay, that means that we can get to the others. Wendy. Wendy Alien or Alan? It says Alien. If arranged marriage was enforced and we had a marriage culture that would effectively prevent a lot of... Oh, so he says, if arranged marriage was enforced and we had a marriage culture that would effectively prevent a lot of heartbreak and heart pain. So you think you have any advice for those who are voluntarily celibate? I don't understand the question. First of all, arranged marriage is not necessarily the best solution of anything. Because if you're supposed to keep 2 people together by a law or force of a tradition, that's bullshit. People have enough hard time to stick together voluntarily, let alone if there is some kind of a law behind them. It brings more resentment and anger and hate and for everything, because a human being's nature is freedom. When you try to force and dominate someone, there will always be. Even the donkeys don't want to, endure that, let alone human being who's got the strongest mind of all. So I don't agree with arranged marriage at all. The responsibility falls in the hands of the two who want to be married, not the culture or the arrangements or customs, none of that. Because you can't force people unless the custom has overtaken the values, or the rules have overtaken the whole personality or the mentality of the person, or the right to think. Therefore it says, okay, if my culture, my arrangement, it says this, then I have to, that's me. Then nothing else matters. And that means they have kind of lost their individuality and ability to make decisions for themselves, and they just live through life because that's the way it is. Now, if you choose each other by yourselves and decide to get married, then I expect that to last, because you can't just get married and then 4 years later says, well, you know, 7 years, well, you know, I want somebody else now. Because the key is not in somebody else, the key is in the fact that unless you bond on important things, on consciousness level during the marriage time, if you bank on the fact that you guys were all good looking and that's why you got married, that will run over. That will end. That will not be strong enough to keep anything together, because the relationship is not between the physical entities. The relationship is between the minds, the consciousness. And if you can't bond on that, no amount of beauty or good looks or whatever, or money even, is not going to keep it together. Because you're not living with each other's looks or possessions. You're living with each other's mind and compatibility on the consciousness. If that is not considered, it's not going to work. So arranged marriage, I don't care about it. What I care about, if two people decided to be together, will understand that we're going to make it work because we decided, we chose it. It wasn't forced upon us. It's not the custom, it's not the rules, it's not the tradition. It's us. We want it, we desire it, and we want to make it work. And we know the challenges of it, and we know that if we think that it's not as hot as it was at the outset, it doesn't mean that we should be breaking it off and go to somebody else, because it's the same story there again. But we are just hopping from one branch of the tree to the other because we're only focusing on building a relationship on physical basis. And because it has everything physical has a duration, when the duration of that physical attraction is over, now you want to build another relationship based on another physical relationship solely. And on that basis, you will be hopping from one branch to another rest of your life. And you will never really actually attain that what you think you can attain by changing partners. The key is in your bonding on consciousness and believing in certain kind of a loyalty, and the reason why you guys wanted to get to marry, not because it was a thing to do. And now I have kids, now I want to go and just, you know, be pretty for somebody else, or if you're a man, you think now I want to go and get another wife that it looks, you know, different. Because these are all on physical levels, and none of them are the reason why it lasts or why it doesn't last. Unless you look hideous to each other. Well, that's a different story. Now let's go to the next question. And so we have 26 people here, guys. Please take a moment and click like if you like. So it will help us to kind of move up on the ladder of the algorithm on YouTube, or at least help us to feel that if we are needed or not. Sandy says, haha, not to worry, Mehran. It will be waiting there for you when you have time. Okay, good. I'm really enjoying your live chat this evening. Oh, delighted that you're enjoying it. And I'm sorry that I don't see the answers right away, because it's a vertical move on the system here. And so by the time I get to the questions, even though I said something and the response comes, I don't go all the way to the bottom to find it, because I'm trying to answer other questions. So eventually I get to it like this one. Jay says, I'm working on myself, I'm working on my job and my responsibilities, good. And building myself up and going to the gym, good. But my mind is still so sad and empty. Well, don't let it be, because there's so many other wonderful things in this world that if you want to deny yourself of them, it's like saying, well, I am hungry, but you know, I see there are all kind of fruits in the store, but I had that particular fruit, and now because I don't see that fruit here, I'm not going to have any other fruit because I think that was the best. Yeah, maybe at the juncture that you were in, that was the best. But right now you've changed and you may not find it the best when you even find that fruit. In the meantime, try the other fruits that are all wonderful and even better, but you just haven't experienced them yet. And then you might see, holy macaroni, this is more delicious than the one that I thought. No, this is more, that one was most delicious. I don't want any other fruit. You eat it. Eat your fruit. Eat your food. And then decide. The more you keep yourself hungry, the more you think that fruit or that girlfriend was the best. Because you're still hungry. But once you try other foods and other fruits and other dates and other girlfriends, and you find something really valuable that you hit it off, then you will see, oh, not even that I'm no longer hungry, I also found something better that I could not have ever found it if I never tried. If I never tried to believe that there is a better one out there, and that the one that I had was not the best, because if it was the best, it would have still been with me. What is the definition of the best? The best is the one that you don't hit it off? That one of you or both of you, or for one reason or another, it doesn't work? That's the definition of the best? Well, it's nonsense. That's not the best. You know? The best is the one that fits in the engine of your car and make the car function perfectly. I don't care if there's another alternators out there that is a better quality or different quality, but it's not fitting your car. It's for a different model. So I don't care how much it is, how expensive, what qualities have gone in there to make it, what technologies. It doesn't matter. It's not fitting your engine. You gotta find the right engine. And you are, every one of you is a unique engine. And when you find a girl that doesn't work, when you find a partner that doesn't work, well, that means it's just not suitable, not fitting your the logic of the engine that is being put together, how your engine is put together. You got to find the piece that works for your engine. That's the one. So you got to find the girl, the partner that you're looking for that fits into your system. And the one that rejected, or you rejected, or both rejected, or somehow didn't work, or she left, that means it's not fitting. So if it's not fitting, it shouldn't be pushed into that engine. It's not going to work. Not today, not ever. So don't keep pursuing something that you're damn sure it's not working. You tried. It was there. You installed it in your engine. Remember? She was your girlfriend. It was installed in your engine. It blew up. It didn't work. It broke down. Why? Because it wasn't the right piece. It wasn't the right part. It looked like it was. It worked for a while. But eventually it didn't. Why? Because it wasn't all synchronized with your system. Now you gotta get that lesson and understand that. But the good news is that there's a lot more parts that are made aftermarket and the dealer from the manufacturer that can fit perfectly in that car. Look for that, because each one of you are a special engine. Look for the part that fits your engine. You're a different model than what that was sold to you. Or somehow you were fooled by the packaging and you thought it will fit perfectly in your engine. It didn't. Now that it didn't, learn from it. Don't keep saying, no, no, I can shove it in. I can screw it tighter. I can open wider. I can use a wrench and make sure it stays there and not fall. I can put the wiring together with welding rather than, it's all nonsense. Learn from it and move on. That's my suggestion to you. Otherwise, as long as you think the way you think, you won't be able to understand why you should move on. If you don't understand why you should move on, you would move on. If you don't understand why you should be moving on, you would not move on. So understand why, per what we talked about, here and also in our private Skype discussions. And move on and enjoy, celebrate these wonderful other women out there. You cannot disrespect other women by thinking that this one that doesn't work in your engine is actually the best part for your engine. Then what kind of engine do you have? That's a questionable engine then. You gotta have pride and respect for your engine. Go find genuine part made for your engine. And that's not the one that you tried and it didn't work. It's the ones that are out. It's among the ones that are out there that you are neglecting to search for. All right. Okay, Jay, now we're going to go on to Mo says how to prioritize answering. Oh, okay, good. I want to listen to this. There are many questions asked. Have you thought of having a topic for the live chat? You can invite us all to focus in a subject area. We might benefit from other questions. Well, no, because this is number 254. Actually, let me change that number from 3 to 4. 254 live talk. And before we got to 100, I think before we got to 100, we had all lectures. It was all topics that I would choose and I would talk about it all through it. And then next time after one live stream that was about a certain topic, then I would take questions about that. Then the next time after, I would take another topic that I would use it as a lecture. And then eventually we got to the point that the topics were pretty much enough to share, and I left it open for people to ask direct question about their situation to help them with their lives. That is why we are here now. So that is the best way for me to have a live talk, because I want to address your questions rather than just, because all those topics that I discussed are already written in my book. mind@6truth.com. You go in there, click on the books. You will see a video on each book, and you will look at the table of contents. But click on the book, click further, read a sample chapter, and then decide, and you will see what things are in that book that should you have it on your library or not. So those discussions are all out there. And then other discussions that I come up with, which are the videos, not the live streams, they discuss what I choose to discuss and share with you. So all those videos are there, and from time to time I make new ones. But when it's live stream, it's about you guys, not about what I want to talk about. It's about you guys and your relationship, your questions, your challenges. So, but I need to come up with a system. I don't know. I've seen channels that they do have some kind of a system. I guess they don't have a system. None of them have a system. They only follow. They follow. Yeah. Yeah, they don't have a system. Nobody has a system. Nobody has a system. Ah, okay. And says, man says, I do enjoy the free flow Q&A. However, thank you for your time. Okay, my pleasure. All right, let's see. Muhammad. Wow. Okay. Muhammad says, male 24, Mehran, I know that everybody has a certain value, but sometimes others try to bring you down to feel better about themselves. Sometimes my friends do that, and that really hurts. Well, of course they do. Because not everybody is capable to build something, but everybody is capable of destroying things. Destroying is much easier than building. So guess what? As we always talked about, there are two ways to have the tallest building in town. One is to destroy all other buildings. Then no matter how tall your building is, you'll look taller because you knock down the other buildings. And the other one is keep building yours. And not everybody is talented enough and capable enough and has got enough things going for them to keep building. People are always running to destroy. but not everybody is capable or knowledgeable or technologically equipped to build something. That's why people to make fun of you or put you down, because that's easier to bring you down, to look bigger themselves than just do something positive and constructive to make themselves actually become bigger and deserve to be seen as qualified. So by disqualifying somebody, some people think that they have become qualified. But that's really a reflection of them for the people who can see it through. So don't give it up. Just focus on it and just laugh at it. See, yeah, obviously this person cannot independently look important or valuable. He has to resort, or she has to resort, and bad-mouthing me or putting me down, antagonizing me, because that's the shortcoming that they have in being able to evaluate and evaluate and affirm their own and their own existence and their own capabilities, their own qualifications. Since they don't have it, they knock me down, because that seems to make them feel as if they're now, okay, now they don't have to make an effort to make something out of them. They just can blend in because I just put that person down. Not knowing that putting that person down doesn't really put that person down. It just makes them look like they have done something to that person in their mind. But they haven't, because nothing goes and diminishes from the person who's been put down or criticized. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But the image that you have of yourself seems like it's been targeted and attacked, and not the same light the way you thought other people are seeing you, because a bunch of people heard the other person put you down, and you think now the image you have in the minds of others has been changed, and you get pissed off because you worked hard for that image. You want that image to be representing you. Forget about the image. Image doesn't get tarnished. Focus on you. You are not damaged. You're not changed. You're the one who's the image makers. So if you think that image has been tarnished, well, simply you can be the next day or the next moment, the next minute, the next second, you can be damn sure that the image was illusory. Something that is illusory cannot be damaged. It's a hologram. You are the source of the image. You are not tarnished. You are not damaged. You're still there. So therefore, what happened? Really, that person showed her inability to compete with you, to deal with you. Her own self-esteem was low, and that is what she or he resorted to. Otherwise, there's no basis or credibility that anything did happen to you as a result of that comment or put down or whatever it was. If you understand that, then it wouldn't hurt you so much, because you know it's all full of shit, nothing. There's no substance to what they say. It's just pretend like how much it's going to hurt you and if you're going to have a comeback. So verbal nonsense. No actuality to the effects of that thing. All right. Kazi Tuta says, well, guess Happy New Year. Huh, I guess so. Oh, it's 12 o'clock. Where are you, Tuta? Are you in, where? Are you in Middle East? Because it's 3 o'clock here. It's 9 hours. Must be New Year in Europe and Middle East. Abhiraj says, age 25, India, ex cheated, made out on me with a distant friend, got back, and finally she lied and left me again for another guy. And during a relationship, she told that I wasn't valuing her like initially. So big deal. Good riddance. She was there, she went with somebody else, then she came back, she went with somebody else. So you don't want that. So the ones who are in Europe, I think it's 12 o'clock, so Happy New Year to you guys. Start the year with strong imaginations, strong energy, strong intention, to deal with the challenges that will come or might come or could come, and stay on your path, stay on your designated path that you have designated for yourself. Keep your code untouched, meaning what you believe in that makes you a better version of yourself. Keep that going. And don't be oscillating, don't be unfocused from what you want to accomplish. Understand what makes you happy. Understand what it is that you should pursue, what it is that you should not, what it is that is wasted time. Value your energy. Do not buy into other people's opinion when they are not constructive and they're just, for the heck of it, are being antagonistic. Don't pay attention to it. Spend a little bit more time with your own self. Understand yourself more. Be one with the nature. Understand the nature. Spend time with the nature. Appreciate everything that is around you that is good. Focus on the basics and stuff, the little stuff, basics of life. You know, a little good food, a little good drink, somewhere safe to sleep, the fact that you breathe. Basics. And just wish to be the best version of yourself and do your best. Do your best, that's it. Don't compare yourself with anybody. Don't buy into anybody is better than you, you're less than anybody. Just do your best, learn from your experiences, and become the better version of yourself every day by just being aware of it. Simple. It was a long-winded wish, but hey, that's my wish. So, Happy New Year, everyone. So, Abby says, she took great care of me, but somehow I am in self-guilt that she had to cheat because of my mistakes, as generally girls cheat to get out of a relationship. Well, I don't care if somebody doesn't want to be with you or be with each other. Sever the situation, the relationship first, then go on with somebody else. Otherwise, that neither looks good on you or is decent to the other partner. So don't be a coward. If you think you can do better, or something that doesn't pleases you and simply you want to do, take a different path, sever the present relationship, then go out with somebody else. Don't keep building with somebody else behind the eyes of your partner, and then when things looks like you're gonna have something going with the other one, then cut this one. That's very cowardly. At least it's not the way it should be done. Be honest with each other to the end. You don't want to be with each other, but don't linger because you're using the situation to feel secure and certain and psychologically secure. Then find somebody, then kick this one out. It's not smartness. It's being an idiot. Weak. You don't want to be weak. Just say, okay, it's not working for this reason, that reason. Okay, we broke up. Okay, now then go take the first step. Not that you've taken many steps while you were in a relationship with somebody else, and now you got it to the point that now you're going to say, okay, it's time for me to break this one up. No, break it up and then go and see what else is out there. I don't care if you're a woman or a man. That's how it should be. That's being a woman and that's being a man. Otherwise, it's just being, it's not right. You won't feel that good about yourself. And I know this is what most girls do, but that's not the right thing. You will end up creating a reputation for women that they're not behaving honorably, as what they expect the guys to behave like with them. So if you want to set a good standard, start from yourselves. Because it is known that most girls leave a guy not before they have met somebody. They first meet somebody, establish some kind of a thing, then they break up their relationship. Not all, but mostly that's what they do. And that's not the honorable way. If you don't want to be done the same thing to you from your boyfriend, well, don't create this reputation for women, because that's been going around for a long time. If you don't want to be treated that way, don't treat your boyfriends that way. Have guts. Sit down, resolve things. If it's not resolved, then break up. Once you broke up, then you're free. Go ahead, you're cautious, and all the power, more power to you. Find something suitable to your needs. And the same thing for guys. Do the same thing. I know this is not what most guys do anyhow, because it's not just the way most guys are put together. They don't, build something with another woman and then break up with their present girlfriend. It's not the usual standard. It's not the way mostly do. Yes, some do, and they're, they're assholes. They're even married and have a relationship. That's not what we're talking about. But in general, girls do a lot more of this kind of a behavior than guys do, because guys are not. They could have all kind of different problems or different issues or that they could cause or bring about, or they need to perhaps consider and fix and all that. But this is not one of them. And girls have this as one of the standard default signature moves when they want to break up with someone. Most often they have already set up something before. That's a cowardly way. That's a mistreatment of your boyfriend. Have some respect for yourself and for them, because at one time you guys were lovey-dovey. You don't want him, no problems. Talk with them or break it up for whatever reason it is suitable for you. But then start hunting for another guy, because that's the honorable way. Same thing for guys. You've got lots of other things that you got to be better at. But at least one thing I'm proud of you, most of you don't do this sort of things that the girls do. And the girls, I've got so many wonderful things about them that I'm proud of them. But this one thing is among the things that they really should consider fixing it up. Otherwise, what it does, it continues this bad reputation that the women who do these sort of things have created for all women. And we know damn well that not all women do this. There's so many wonderful women out there that they do not do these sort of things. If they break up, they break up, then they go out and find somebody else. So I want you guys, the girls, to fix this up as pioneers, as role models, to create a different kind of a level of expectations and reputation and honorable behavior among the whole community of dating and all that around the world. And guys, same thing. Don't cheat on your girlfriends. When you are committed to a girlfriend relationship, then be committed to it. Don't flirt with the other girls. And girls, understand, guys really value you when they are in a relationship with you. They don't like it when you have this need of attention and allow other guys hit on you and you think, no, he's just being nice. He's not being nice. He wants to get into your pants. So understand that. If you're single, well, do whatever it is that you want to do. But when you actually committed to a relationship, understand your guy wants you to be his queen. And he can't understand what's the need of this queen to allow others to chat her up. Because for the same reason, you do not like your boyfriend to chat up other women. Isn't that true? Because if it's good for the, goose is good for the gander. You can't say, I think that was the right expression, wasn't it? Because you can't say that, oh, it's okay if I do it because I don't mean anything by it. But if the guy, if your boyfriend does it, no, he's flirting. Well, it's the same thing. Whether it looks like he's flirting or he intended it or the girl is flirting with him, he should be able to rectify that and control that. And the same thing with you. It is easier for you to stop any flirting of other guys by the way you handle it and you behave it and you respond to it than it is for the guys. Because it's rather impolite for a guy to kind of cut a girl off who's being a little bit flirtatious, while he should be able to be diplomatic and handle it graciously and politely and brush that aside and show that he is in a committed relationship. But it is always, there's a lot more of that happening with the girls, that the guys always want to hit on the girls. And if you're in a relationship, have some class. Clearly and directly let the guy who's hitting on you to understand diplomatically or politely, or then when if it's needed directly, that, hey, I'm not interested in your chatting me up. That's disrespectful to me and to the relationship that I'm involved in. It should go both ways. So both of you, if you're conscious about this, you will have a different, create a different reputation in the world among the, people who are in a relationship, and they will create a different standards, different expectations, and pretty soon we will start a different culture, which means a little bit of like old-fashioned culture, a little bit of respect to the people who are in a relationship already, and you observe and you respect the fact they shouldn't be interfering or hitting or creating some kind of a diversion or attention paid to the woman or the men who are already in a relationship, and that kind of secures the quality of relationship around the world. If it would be an unwritten law that you will not hit on other people's partners when they're in a relationship. Thou shalt not hit on each other when you are in a relationship. That would be an unwritten law that you can start from this 2019, and hopefully the reputation of the girls and the boys will become better, and then we will naturally won't cause other people who are in a relationship to find an unreasonable reason to break up just because somebody else paid attention to them. And they find it novel. Oh yeah, I feel better now because 10 people are hitting on me. So okay, now maybe I should get rid of this girlfriend. Or the girlfriend says maybe I should get rid of the boyfriend because there's so many other guys lining up. But every one of them, just because they're chatting you up, doesn't mean they're better than your boyfriend or more committed or caring. You're just a novelty. And that takes time for you to know if it is truly something they should pay attention or not. And number one rule would be, well, I'm in a relationship, I don't want to pay attention to any of this, and I'm going to discourage them. I'm not just going to tolerate them, I'm going to discourage them, because that will show to the person who's hitting on me that I'm not interested, and also I respect for my partner, and at the same time I want to be away from these circumstances because I have no need for it. And the same thing goes for the guys. Let's see if we can make a change in the attitude of people who are in relationship towards other people who are in relationship, or single people who are hitting on people who are in relationship. Anyhow, hopefully that will deliver some kind of an idea, and you may ponder on it yourselves. Roberta says, hi Mehran from London. Hello Roberta. Says, Mehran, my GF has a sister, and my girlfriend always tells everything to her sister about our relationship. All through fights, everything she tells the sister. Should I tell her to stop telling her? No, don't. But just tell her the fact that you tell everything to your sister, it could create an unnecessary animosity between the sister and I, because when we make up, she doesn't feel that we are now on good terms necessarily between me and her, but when we are fighting, she also creates an animosity feelings towards me, which is not washed away or resolved when we do make up, because she's not going to feel it, but she's going to feel the anger of it. And that resentment eventually is going to cause her to constantly be against me, to the point that she's actually going to encourage you and start introducing to the other guys, because she's your sister, she loves you, or at least she thinks she does. So tell her, well, you can tell her what stuff that you feel like you want to talk to someone, who better than your sister, but also inform her about my good points. Otherwise she will only know me as the things that you don't like about me, and which means she will not like me, and it would create a little bit of unnecessary division in the family. On the other hand, Robertas, it is good that she talks to her sister. Who did you want her to talk to? Some stranger? At least it's a sister, no problems. But tell her you would prefer to resolve things between the two of you, and tell her, how would you feel if everything that goes between us I will tell my brother or some close friend that knows everything about you? Maybe she will understand what you're going through. All right. And Roberta says, because when we fight, her sister gives her advice and so on, and I hate that her sister is getting involved, and that my GF always tells her everything we speak. Should I tell her to stop it or no point? Well, tell her, listen, I have a relationship with you, so if I have a disagreement, it would be with you. If you want to team up and have two people, then why you are in a relationship with me? Maybe you should be in a relationship with the one that your sister chooses for you, and then she'll be responsible for ups and downs of it. Because every relationship has ups and downs, but I don't want to feel like there's a front here. So maybe I should go bring my brother or bring a couple of friends, and then all sit down and collectively have a, issues and breakups or whatever, fights or arguments. So says there's something, I don't know, I forgot how old you are, Roberta's again. And remember, guys, I don't remember necessarily because there's so many, back and forth that I don't really remember how old you are. So, Roberta's, maybe you tell me how old your girlfriend is, because it has a lot to do with my answers as well. But anyhow, that would be the outlook of the way you want to communicate to your girlfriend. Horia Stefanescu says, hello Mehran, hello Horia. It's me, Sander. Oh, Sander. Sander from Romania. Yes, I remember now. I've been dating a girl for a month and everything went great up until to the point where she told me I was acting too soft around her, contrary to what she may have believed. I was just being humble with her. Now she's giving me signs of losing interest. Should I let this go? Of course. When she thinks she's all that and you're being soft with her, what? She wants somebody to dominate her and just don't give her respect or what? Well, maybe, tell her, well, listen, I thought it's disrespectful to try to be selfish and dominate you and, I don't know, somehow control you. I just thought it should be voluntarily, and that's my style. If you think that's a weakness, well, I guess we have an issue here. And perhaps if you like, we can talk about it. If not, well, I appreciate the time you spent with me and I don't want to hold you back. If my qualities are not worthy of discussion or discussing my shortcomings or my differences and discussing your shortcomings and your differences, because obviously it runs both ways, then I guess the relationship doesn't worth spending any more time and energy on it. Otherwise, we can sit down and have a chat. But if not, you're not interested, that's all right. Have a nice life and bye-bye. That's the end of that. There's no shortage of good women. This is, again, another kind of being a bit of a, unreasonable nature of some entities, which they simply are looking to be taking no responsibility for anything and blame the other side for, oh, you're too soft, you're too hard, you're too harsh, you're too this or too that. And come on, what about you guys? I mean, some guys are always so caring about their girlfriends not to be hurt, they hardly have any motivation to tell them anything that they're not doing or that's not suitable for them. They don't say anything to their girlfriends. Oh yeah, as long as she's like pretty, that's it. Most girls think that as long as they're just there and they're a female, that's enough. No. You criticize your boyfriend, you should know that there are criticisms that he would like to make with you, but he's being a gentleman. He's being concerned. He doesn't want to hurt you, because obviously most women only think about themselves as a physical entity, and as soon as you say something about something that is not as good as they could be, whether in their behavior or their looks or fitness or whatever it is, suddenly that's the end of the world. So the guys have learned to be gentle, to be respectful, to be loving, to be supportive. But yet the girls find it so apropos to hit you on the head for whatever they want and suddenly say, oh, you're too hard, you're too soft, you're too controlling, you're not controlling enough, whatever they want. But what about discussion of it? When you have come up with some kind of issue, then what about discussing it and to see how we can resolve it, rather than just waiting and waiting and waiting, then coming down with that issue and then using it as a catapult to get you out of the relationship. Well, if that's a plan, well, the good riddance then. That wasn't the right choice anyhow. It showed itself. Whether you're a guy or a girl, doesn't matter what your gender is. If that's what the level you operate on, well, that's good information for you to know now than later. Because there's always going to be some kind of issue coming up in a duration of a relationship. If it's not now at the beginning, it will be sometime in the future. But there will be. And if the attitude of dealing with issues would be just simply say, no good, therefore I'm out, then that's better to be known now, because then you will make a decision, say, well, that kind of a ship is not going to keep me afloat when the tsunami and the storms hit, when I'm trying to travel through this ocean of life. So take it for positive. If she's not interested, don't even call her. Just don't. Because unless she voluntarily wants to talk about it, compromise it, and fix it, then that means there's not enough interest. If there's not enough interest, you don't want to even call her right now. Let her figure out that how life will look without you. Don't be there and let her just feel all good and everything is good, but you know, I can also see what else is out there, because he's there anyhow and I don't like him, or I don't want him, or whatever. So let her feel it, and obviously that's not a way to handle an issue in a relationship. Therefore, I think let her go, unless she's willing to sit down and talk about it and figure it out. But if she wants to play the high and mighty, all for that, okay, let her go. Bye-bye. Not a big deal. Roberta says she's 23 and I'm 25. Ah, okay. Now I gotta remember what the question was. I don't remember. Oh, here. Oh, the sister business. Oh, I see. Yeah, she's 23. Yeah, she's. It's kind of a. I think one of the best ways is when you three, you, her, and the sister, are sitting together on good terms. There's no fighting or issues. Bring up the subject and say to the girlfriend or to the sister, says, listen, there's a relationship here, and I bet you understand that when there will be too many cooks in the kitchen, the food will be either burnt, have too much salt, or not enough salt. So I would like to ask you to respect our relationship a little bit more. Even though my girlfriend will feel to talk to you about everything, I suggest, if you really think she's mature enough and you respect her, let her figure out things with me directly, rather than you constantly coming in there, be the sidekick and the second girlfriend. I don't want to be your boyfriend. I want to be friends with you because you are important to my girlfriend. Just imagine if you had a boyfriend and the boyfriend's brother was always advising on the sidelines with whatever was going on between you and the boyfriend. How would you feel about that? It doesn't feel good, does it? So I suggest, if you really like your sister and you want her to have a good relationship, let us handle it. Whether we break up or not break up, that's up to us. But you constantly get in there. It's not a competition to score points and to show how smart you are to your sister. You love your sister, that's fine, but she's my girlfriend and I want to have an independent relationship with her and see who she is. I can't even get to know who she is when she constantly gets advice from you. I don't care what it is. I'm not an abuser person. We don't raise a hand on each other. We don't abuse each other. So whatever comes up between us, it's between us. We should be the one. I want to see how she handles things when something goes wrong. Not that how you advise her and how she comes up with all, prepared with your scenarios, that's not a right way for me to get to know who my girlfriend is. If there's going to be any long-term relationship or not, I don't know. But I do want to know and get to know her. I do want to have the opportunity to get to know her. I don't want to have a relationship with you, but it looks like I am. I'm not interested. Go get your own boyfriend. If it gets a little bit harsh, you can say this last part. But don't say it right at the beginning. Just be pleasant and say, put that scenario, put that topic and concern, and see how she feels. And then that way you said it in front of them, not behind your girlfriend's back. Because then your girlfriend knows that this is not appreciated, and you can say that, I don't know, every time she comes, is it her talking to me or is it you talking to me? So what should I do? Should I answer it or should I wait until you come into the room, then I say it? So in that way, I really don't know if I'm having a relationship with my girlfriend or I'm having a fight with you. What's going on? You're not there when we're lovey-dovey. You're there only where the fight comes, and you're not really beneficial in there. So you're going to say things that might actually damage our relationship, because we have also seen our good sides, that we like each other. But you don't. So you only go on the, on the premise of fighting and winning a fight. But she, if she's all by herself, as I am all by myself, we go on the premise of trying to deal with each other, handle with each other, understand each other, and maybe, resolve things. But you want to win because you're protecting your sister. But let your sister and me have our relationship. That's probably would be something useful. Venus says, is it weird that I have to initiate most of the physical contact with the new girl I'm getting to know over the past 2 months? Remember, I need to know where you're coming from, where you're tuning in from, where your girlfriend's coming from, how old you are, and all that. Otherwise, I can't imagine who's your girlfriend, how old is she, what culture you guys come from. So I'm going to move on until I get that, guys. And Ayushman says, Happy New Year, sir. Happy New Year to you too, Ayushman. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Abhiraj says, is cheating justified because she was a lovely girl, but she complained I wasn't appreciating her the way I did earlier? Really? So when two people get together and they're really all lovey-dovey all over each other at the beginning, and then if it diminishes for the fact that they are now secure that they have each other and they're paying attention to their lives, and naturally more responsibility about life and less attention would be between the two of them, then that justifies for one of them or both of them go and mess around somewhere else? What justify? That definitely is not. I'm a kind of loyal man, but somehow I didn't mean to take her for granted. Whether you did or not, it should have been discussed and brought about, talked over, taken action to resolve, make changes. Not that suddenly, okay, because of that, I'll go do that. Well, that's stupidity. That's no way of keeping a relationship. So no, it's not justified. Justin says, how are you, brother? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I can't get past the bad things me and my ex have done because the good things kept prevailing. How can I keep remembering this? No, enjoy the good things. Once you enjoyed it, then you can think. Just like, you're having a different kind of plates of food in front of you, and some of them taste, this way, that way. And then at the end of it, you have to have certain kind of a medicine that tastes like shit. So it doesn't mean that, while I can't have the food because I gotta have that shit tasting medicine. No, have the food, enjoy it, and enjoy it thoroughly, like the good memory, think about it and enjoy the good memories. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And once you enjoyed and finished your enjoying the memories, once you finished your good food, then you say, okay, now, by the way, all of that, but I still have to face with this shitty tasting medicine. Meaning, all of that good memories, yes, but this was the reason that it broke up. These were the problems. Now, let me also, reminisce on the problems that I had with this all fine memories. Because the reason all these fine memories went to hell was because of these problems. So these problems should be really focused as part of the whole entirety of the relationship, rather than just thinking about the good stuff and then thinking, oh, well, then of course I'm missing it. Yeah, if you only think about the, you know, the good stuff, the food, then, you know, it'll be all pleasant. And you're ignoring the fact that you have certain kind of a, you know, condition that you shouldn't be eating all these food that is tasting good there for the reason that you have those conditions, which makes you have to have this shitty tasting medicine. So the shitty tasting medicine is because of the problems that you have been created in your you know, system because of eating all these food, or not because, despite of it. So I think you get the gist of it. So in other words, enjoy the memory, but also do remember the reasons for it to broke up. But you can enjoy the memory, you don't have to block it. Ayushman says, just a random question, sir. What to do with the feeling of ex used you for fun? Who cares? She's a woman, used you for fun. Well, blessing, enjoyed it, right? It's much better to be used by a woman. What's wrong with that? Don't worry, there's so many other women. You know, just enjoyed it. She had fun, you had fun, but now she's gone. Okay, that means she's no longer qualified. That's fine. So, no big deal. You're a man, you can take it. No, don't feel anger. What to feel anger? What feel anger? Anger for what? So many wonderful other girls out there. You will meet them. Don't worry. Christina says, hi, Mehran. Female, 25, New York. Hello, Christina. Says, I'm so grateful I found this channel this year. Thank you for everything and Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year to you too, dear. It is going to be, what, another 5-6 hours, 5.5 hours before the New Year in New York, I believe, and here. But I'm delighted that you enjoy the channel. I'm grateful that you join us and you think the channel is helpful to you and the videos are helpful to you. Just every one of you, do make a little bit of a resolution with yourself to help the channel this coming year in ways that you can, to promote the channel. Share the videos you like on your social media. Maybe talk to, I don't know, some kind of a medium that you know they might be interested to do a report on our channel or on what we do here, what our work is all about. And basically, you know, promote what we do on this channel and on my site. And that would be great. Siddhartha says, male 31, Estonia. Hello, Sid. How are you? He says, just came back from a New Year party. It's a treat to see you live. Haha, wonderful. And Happy New Year to you. It must be already New Year in Europe, Estonia. And he says, best thing to happen to me last year, we getting to know you. Was getting to know you. Well, thank you. I am learning so much from you, not just about relationship, but also about life and human psyche. Well, I'm delighted to hear that the live talks, the association with the channel, with me, interacting with me, it's been helpful to you, and the videos are always there at your disposal in case you wanted to refresh some topics. Mo says, I guess you like cars. How come? I guess we all do in one way or another. Not as much as when I was much younger, but horses I still go nuts for. Lottie says, Happy New Year, Mehran. Happy New Year to you too. Lottie, what are you, in New York, are you? I forgot. Aniket says, Happy New Year, sir. Happy New Year to you as well. Hiraj says, this was my first serious love. My girlfriend made out with a guy at his place during some bad phase of our relationship and didn't mention the whole incident. 20 days later, I luckily checked her phone. She got petrified and told me that she was made out as she was confused, but she lied telling me since she didn't want to lose me. Yeah, okay, then get rid of her. Tell her bye-bye. Simple, no big deal, you know. Timmy says, Mehran, you still going? Well, I'm soon finishing because it looks like I'm almost there. Let's go 7 hours. No, 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 no. That's it. I want to go and do maybe a walk or go to the gym tonight. Mr. Consistent says, you need to be on TV like Oprah has a talk show. You need one. Well, arrange it. I'll look at it favorably. Okay, guys, looks like we hit all the questions again today. 3 hours, 32 minutes, and 38, 39, 40 seconds, 41, and it keeps going. I love you all. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share some of these things. Happy New Year to all of you, and I wish you all a wonderful year, and be good to yourself, to the others, and I look forward to talk to you soon. Bye for now.